All right, everybody, welcome back to yet another episode of the New to Retro Reviews podcast. And today is a very special episode because this one is, of course, as many people know, my favorite Resident Evil game of all time, but it's also the one for my special guest. So I want you guys to say hi to my friend D.
Hi, I'm Dee. I go by Hoodedwoman as well. And yes, Resident Evil 3 is also my favorite Resident Evil.
Yeah, I mean, this game is special for a lot of people, and I kind of feel it kind of got overshadowed a little bit back in the day. We'll get into that a little bit later, but as always, I want people to talk about their experiences. So what was your first experience of this game? Did you even realize it was coming out back then, or how did that go for you?
Yeah, no. It was more or less, I first got introduced to Resident Evil through Resident Evil 1. I'm blessed and I have family members. My father and my brother were both gamers. So pretty much we'd get a system, we'd all kind of share it. My brother being the Hook. And it was one of those games that like my dad brought home, and my brother started playing it, and then I saw, oh my god, you can play as a woman, you can play Jill. And as a young girl, I was very excited that a female character, well, not that there was a female character, but that there was a choice and I could choose the woman. So I got addicted. I loved the puzzles aspect. Obviously fell instantly in love with Jill, being she was that female antagonist we got to see. And then from there, it just kind of led into RE2, which then everyone who I would talk to Resident Evil about kind of fell into Resident Evil with. And then it just RE3 came out, and it was just kind of like surprise, at least for me. I guess information was a little harder back then. We had the magazines and a few things like that, but that
commercials, yeah,
it really wasn't the internet where it's like, let me just see what games are coming out. No trailers that we could watch on, and analyze like I do now. So vastly different when those first came out. So yeah, Resident Evil 3 was more or less just kind of like a surprise in the sense of, I think I saw it in a Best Buy catalog. It may have been a GameStop catalog or something. I was like, I want that. So yeah, that was how I got into RE3. I wish I could remember better which one it was, but and then once I started playing it, I think the genre turn of like the being hunted and then the decisions, I was like absolutely like the last minute decisions, I was hooked. I was like, oh my god, there's different outcomes. Now there's replay. I mean, there's always been, to me, replayability in Resident Evil, but this one I felt like was that elevated replayability.
Oh, hell yeah.
So yeah, I was just, that was the one that I'm like, and then Nemesis, just his design. I've always loved horror or like monsters, and then his design in general was just instantly, like his aesthetic. I was just like, love this. It's so great. I love that he hunts, he talks, he used weapons. So that sold it for me. So yeah.
RE3 was just this game that was yet another way that if it's not broke, don't fix it, but they just kind of added like modifications to it, and it felt the formula, because like much like you, yeah, I was there with the original one. So whenever we were getting a new entry in that original trilogy, I was always happy because it was just a game that, for someone who doesn't like horror that much, who's got a very overactive imagination, it worked out great. And yeah, 3 had that. 3 was so different from the first 2 games, but also still very similar. And
yes,
with the choices and the way it takes you down different paths and where the Nemesis can show up and just how the game itself kind of thinks and all the different paths. Like, I don't think it was back then really as respected as it is now, because I've always said this, and you're a Final Fantasy fan, so you'll probably agree with me on this. I call it the Final Fantasy VII effect, where Resident Evil 2 was so popular, it blew up everywhere. It had way more magazine articles than the original did. It was on TV. In Japan they had the George A. Romero commercial. It somehow caught fire in that year for everybody. And then 3 came out, and 3 sold incredibly well. It still sold great, but 2's popularity kind of eclipsed that. Kind of like how I always felt Final Fantasy VII did that to Final Fantasy VIII in a lot of ways.
I could agree.
Yeah. See, again, yeah. Final Fantasy, and
I'm not the biggest 8 fan. I'm not gonna lie. I bought Final Fantasy 8 for the Brave Fencer Musashi demo disc, but But I understand, like, you can see where there's a lot of people that, like, when you talk about them, they haven't even played that one. And one of my best friends, when I had her going back and playing some of the retro Resident Evils, because she got into them with all these remakes that have been coming out, which are fantastic. But I was like, you've got to play, like, the OG 1, 2, 3. She hadn't played them, and she really didn't have any idea of the original 3. It was all about 1 and 2. 3 2 with some of the words I kind of heard back in the day was they felt it was a quick cash grab. Like, people are just like, it's not the same. It's not the same. There's not 2 characters. It's not the same. I mean, there is arguably with Carlos, but I see what they're saying. There's not a choice between players. You know, you're Jill for the most part, and then you play as Carlos, which I enjoy. But I see where it's different enough that some people may have been hesitant, kind of like some people would be so addicted to 2 that they want that formula, or so many people were addicted to Final Fantasy 7, they want that formula. When you deviate, then it's like, it's not the same. I'll wait for it to go on sale, and then the sale may never come, or they may never pick it up. But then, you know, people do go back and play it, and they love it, which is great. So
yeah, and it's great. Like, I mean, like, so many streamers I've seen that have blown up in recent years, like discovering the original Resident Evils and stuff, has been like a joy to watch people experience that, where, you know, you and I have been enjoying it for nearly 30 years. They're just getting in the last like 5.
Yeah, which is fine. Please, the more the merrier. Welcome. Please come enjoy them. Like, see what it's like to see, especially to compare, and not to, you know, in a negative light compare, but just to compare how the games were originally, and then how the remakes portray the games, and how those updates are too. Exactly. Just to enjoy them, because they're all different. And, you know, I have grievances about the originals just as I have grievances about remakes. And some grievances are a little bit higher than others, but I think that's just my own bias, because I played the originals like you. So you know, other than RE1 remake for the GameCube, that is a perfect game.
That game is
perfect
flawless.
Remake.
Oh god, that game.
I will speak no evil of that game.
You can't, like, there's like, I don't care who you are, you cannot speak ill about that game. That thing is like, it was doing essentially remakes kind of before remakes, and it just was like, again, a perfect blueprint from the first game. And they just like, I still think today, like to this day and age, as much as, you know, 3 scared the crap out of us, Code Veronica scared the crap out of us, I think the remake scared the crap out of me more than any other Resident Evil game. I'm easily, don't get me wrong, I get scared very easily.
Crimson Heads, man. You know? Ooh.
Well, just, I mean, not even that, just like that atmosphere. Like, you just did not know what was, like, because, like, you think, wait, what the hell's a Crimson Head? Wait, what else is in here?
No idea, like, not at all. You just open a door. I remember my first, I had a friend that warned me. He had played it prior to me, and he was like, burn the bodies. And I was like, what? He's like, burn the bodies. Just take my word on it, burn the bodies. And I was like, man, I got inventory slots to manage. I don't have time for that flask and the lighter. I was just no, I'll pass. And then I remember opening the door in that first hallway right next to the clock, like, you know, the dining hall, and like coming in from the back when you loop around. And I opened it, and you just hear thunk, thunk, thunk. And literally I was like, Nemesis? And it's a Crimson Head. And I just quick turned, that great quick turn they gave us. I quick turned right back into that door and was like, maybe I should have burned the bodies. And that right there, I was like, for me, I don't really get scared in a lot of games, or they don't really give me that, like, I guess, where you have to think back on, like, my decision-making skills and my item management, that kind of thing. But that gave me that thought for a moment that, man, maybe I managed this wrong. I was like, that's me, will live with me forever. Because I was like, that's a good game moment. And I think that's, you know, that tells you how good of a game that remake is.
It truly is. And, you know, and so with 3 just being like a great continuation of what we had. I mean, I think 3 was just different enough to see like why it was so good. I mean, 2 was great, but you really spent most of it in the RPD and then the sewers and then the lab, whereas 3, you spent a majority of it like going through the streets. And to me,
best part, the Raccoon City streets.
Like, I love it. So many areas just iconic. So many places that, whether it's the soundtrack or anything else that it's just involved with, every area of that game feels expertly crafted. For me, that's how I always felt about that, you know. And like the fact that sometimes you were in some areas where you could hear the Nemesis be like stars, and you're like,
Where is he?
what? You know, and
what weapon is he coming with now?
yeah, like, where is he coming from? Or like I remember, I think like one of the biggest what the fuck moments, aside from him just crashing through that window in the RPD, is when you do the whatever steps you do to get him to activate jumping off the building from that the press building.
Oh, when you come out, when you're coming out of your are you talking about when he's on top of the building with the grenade or with the rocket launcher, or are you talking about when you're in the building before, like after it blows up and you're grabbing the stuff and you can jump out the window?
No, that's the power station.
Yes.
No, the one I'm thinking of is the newspaper office where you got to go upstairs and the green gems on the table.
Yeah, okay. That's when he comes upstairs with the fire and all that, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
And he comes upstairs and like you got to like get out of that office, and it's hard getting stuck in there. And so, you know, you leave the office and you're going down the stairs, you're like, okay, I'm safe. And then sometimes when you're on the street, he just jumps down in front of that fire truck, and I'm just like, what? And it's just like nowhere is safe. Like, nope. I mean, aside from a safe room and stuff like that, which actually, and I love how they did this. Have you played Lord of Necropolis yet?
I have not, no.
Dude, install that mod. That is what a real life zombie apocalypse would be. You're like in an area with literally 20 zombies in there, or you're in a save room and you hear the Nemesis outside the door, and it's like fear. Like it was true.
I don't want to come out of here.
Yeah, no, I'm staying in here, man. I'll eat gunpowder if I have to and everything to survive. I ain't leaving. But like but 3 had that atmosphere because you just got to see so many like great places. Like, well, like what do you think is your favorite area of RE3?
I won't lie. I'm a big fan of, so when you have to go and get the battery and you're running back between like almost there where you're the newspaper building, right after you put the gems in, that next hallway that you pretty much get, any of that area and the little bit of backtracking you do there, I love that one. I think because one of my favorite times that you run into Nemesis, of course, is on the backtrack of that when he's just in your way in the path, and it's like, well, sir, I need to get by if you can just saunter all over a little bit. Plus, I mean, you have the one when you're trying to do everything with the book and everything with the clock and swapping those out. You have the zombies that bust out. Everything's nice and timed. I think it's that nice, especially in those first playthroughs where you're still learning what happens in the game. It's really you're not expecting, like, you just think, oh, that's a solid door, we're just going back. Nope, zombies are out now. Like, it's a new area and I mean, we see that at the beginning with the ground when you get the light, or not the lighter, the lighter fluid, they bust out as well. But it's still like, it just shows you how like there's elements of the environment that you think, oh, that's just a background, and it's like, no. Same thing with like the car doors when you're going through, like as Carlos or even as Jill to get to the hospital, and the door flies off and a zombie pops out. Like those kinds of like little elements, and I think there's the most of them in that kind of hallway area. So that's probably my favorite. Just old Raccoon City, honestly. Like I love seeing the streets. That's actually why I'm really excited for Requiem, since we're going back to Raccoon City. I'm hoping we see more of those elements of Raccoon City even ruined.
I really hope we do. I hope that's just not some tease, man.
Yeah, I don't think so. They're teasing it too well, but so that for me personally is just kind of my favorite, is just the elements of like the city, the world building. Just, you know, it's not a mansion, which I still appreciate, and it's not a police station, though we do get to visit it.
Yep.
You know, but briefly, just enough to grab our lockpick and run from Nemesis. So.
Yeah, no, I mean, like those areas are great. I mean, for me, I can't understand. I think I actually know why, but my favorite area is the Raccoon City Park.
Okay. Yeah.
And not a lot of people talk about that. So when I heard that the RE3 remake was happening, my brain went, if it's anything like how they've done 2, I guarantee the park is just gonna get. They're not gonna throw that in there for some. Like it was such a small part, and I felt that it was like, yeah. And then like once I remember once playing remake, I was like, you know, the ground ain't trembling, nothing's coming. Like, is the Gravedigger in this game? So I'm like,
Gravedigger.
Yeah, no Gravedigger. So I knew that park was gonna get left out, and I was still sad when it happened. But you know, the original park. I think one of the things I love about the park is every time I play the game, I stop and just admire it. You know, like when you can go up the stairs when you're first in there, and you can overlook the whole park.
Mm-hmm.
I love that scene so much because you just see the rain falling, you see the buildings that are in the back, all the lights are out. You just really get to see it's little things like that. And then you go down those steps to where the boardwalk is, with all that water. And I guess because like also like in 1999, graphics for us back then, that was just groundbreaking. Seeing how all that water just floats, all the lighting, you see the trees, the pre-rendered backgrounds of the trees and the rain falling, all just mixed so well together. Going down that path where the dogs or the hunters could be, depending on how you play.
Always want dogs. You always want dogs.
Yes. No, those hunters, man. If you have not
dogs.
loaded up on Magnum, those things will rip you to shreds.
I used to speedrun 3, and it's like, fingers crossed for dogs.
Yep.
That part.
Oh my God, like, and that was and I also think because of the fixed camera angles and how they did the park, when you get to that part, you're just like, I can't see shit. I'm looking through like something's looking at me, and it's creepy, and I just love that whole aspect. And and obviously because we've talked about this on the road before, me and the guys, but we've all agreed that Raccoon City itself is a character.
Yes.
And everywhere you go, it's just they put so much love and effort into that city from 2 and 3 that it's just hard to ignore. I mean even some of the things in 3, like you ever see like sometimes you go back to an area and the lights are on, or like the hydrant that was busted isn't going anymore.
Yep. Like it's like the pressure had let out, or there's just little changes, or even just the small things, which I think like the iconic, like the sidewalk chalk, the stuff that they added, little things like that to like make it feel like a truly lived in city before all this happened, so there's that relatability. And it's like, I could have just been a cobblestone street or just some pavement. They could have left it, but there's all this like extra character and thought that they give into it for those revisits, that it's like, yes, I'm going to try to re-explore and revisit these areas because I want to see what changed. I want to see what elements are there or what new monster might pop out, honestly.
Yep. And I mean, like that game just it kind of had it all for that. And I guess let's talk about the monsters. I mean, you love the Nemesis more than anybody else I know.
Yeah, he's my boy.
Like I have seen people when they get a character they love and the dedication they have, and I mean we'll have video because you don't see the layout that I'm gonna have, but like above our video boxes is a box of like the game footage going by. So we'll get. I'll ask you to take some video of your collection for this if you'd like. But
okay,
the Nemesis, that's your guy.
Yeah, that's my boy. Like when it comes to bioweapons, like I just think he is the epitome of like what Umbrella or what could be made to just bring that shock and awe and just a true terrifying force. Like he was levels above with intelligence than, arguably even William Birkin in his mutated state, not him prior.
Yeah.
But, in his mutated state where he had no control, Nemesis knew what he was hunting, knew what he was doing, did it effectively. Like in the original, the remake may have changed that a little bit. One of my grievances. But, Nemi did his job and he did it efficiently when he had to. And yeah, overall, again, just his aesthetic design and how it changed and progressed down to his original design, and even the things as creative as like his belts being inhibitors for the parasite to make sure the parasite stays in control. So as Jill does more damage to him and does things to him, belts get broken, parasites start coming out. Like I absolutely love just those small types of evolutionary details that they put into him, which usually we did see that, but like Tyrant, we only ever really got Tyrant in his really one form, and then on the roof kind of the same form. Not too much. It was like changing, like I'm not talking like I would say like stage 3 Nemesis, he's truly like, this parasite is truly doing everything it can to keep this mass alive so it can accomplish its goal. And that to me is like a terrifying monster. Like to know that something so dedicated and trained to just like destroy you is just, that's all it's doing. And you have to deal with that amongst everything else happening in the game. The zombies, the hunters, the lickers, like anything else that may be brought into your face, and you're just like, but I also have this impending monster behind me that could show up at any moment. So good. And I mean, Mr. X, I feel like was a little bit of that in 2. I think that was kind of like a good test, but Nimi just having the weaponry and the intelligence of the like following room to room a little bit better he just brought so much more. And again, like you were saying, any rooftop. He could be on any rooftop. Jump down on. Who knows?
Yeah.
Loved
Well,
it.
it's like you said earlier, he was like, you do, instead of like turning on the power at that power station and frying the zombies, you just take the emergency exit, then you're surrounded by zombies. He starts shooting a rocket launcher and he's like up on the build, and it's just,
he actually saves you.
Yeah, he does.
And then jumps down to kill you.
It's just, every time I see that now, since this episode of Family Guy came out, there's just that one episode where Lois almost got killed and Stewie killed, what was her name, Diane, and Stewie's just like, if anybody gonna take that bitch out, it's me.
Yeah, I mean, pretty honestly, yes. That is the feel I get in that scene, in that scenario, when you take that one. Because of course that's what you do in the speed run. So it's like, yeah, that's what I usually take, is like this, just the emergency exit, and then it's pew pew. I'm like, and then of course Jill's very skillful dodges. Always.
Oh yeah.
Always.
Well, she can always dodge, but when you try to dodge, it's like, oh no, I sidestepped into a wall. Oh, he's got me.
Yeah, I need this zombie. I just need to run by him real quick. Just quick juke. Oh, got to dodge. Great. Oh, thanks, Jill. Wasn't even gonna grab me. Appreciate it. But that was a cool mechanic that they added for that one. Was a dodge mechanic, which we hadn't had prior to. And I mean, as kind of like unreliable as it can be, I can think of a few instances where it saved me in one of my earlier gameplays, or it has, later in the life, like playing it again. I'm like, oh man, I'm glad she decided to dodge that.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, like it is a nifty tool, because I mean, he's got a lot of stuff that you need to dodge, and I mean, we've already talked just about how he just shows up whenever the hell he wants, like that party guest you try not to invite, but
doesn't know when the lights are off to leave.
But he literally also, it's no matter what he does, he's dangerous at all times. You think, oh, okay, he ditched, like he ran out of rockets or anything, or the rocket launcher blew up in his face. Okay, he's not deadly anymore. No, he just gets more pissed off.
Yeah, now he's gonna whip out his tentacles. So good luck with that. You know?
AKA Dr. Dick Hands. I've been calling him that for so long. Like, we do it on Row, and everybody just starts like cracking up on it. Like, because it's, I mean, come on. It's, I mean, you and I have been on the internet long enough. We've seen some really interesting fan art people decide to post.
Yeah, I've seen some groups, and I like how people kind of forget, or like you see a lot more with Wesker and Ouroboros, and I'm like, you gotta remember who the OG was, okay? And it was Nemesis. All right, he had him first, okay? Wesker saw a good thing. It was like, let me move on with that, and so.
I remember, and I didn't even know what I was looking at first, because the drawing was so well detailed. Obviously, I'm not going to go into detail what I saw, but it was Jill and Nemesis. The rest of you guys all have been on the internet. You know what it was happening. But like, I didn't see it at first, but like the design was fucking amazing. And then like I see what he's doing, and I'm like, why is it so detailed? The art is amazing, but it's so detailed. And I'm like, I don't want to see that.
There's definitely a group of monster people that enjoy that kind of thing. So I definitely see the call to it.
Hey man, like no shame, man. If you like what you like and stuff. I'm just like, when I saw how detailed it was, I was like, this could make money somewhere. And I mean, and that was like literally probably like 2000, like in the early to mid 2000s and stuff, you know? I mean, some of those artists back then were really something that for Resident Evil stuff. But that
does not surprise me. It does not surprise me. I have seen some stuff in my days of looking up fan art, like back in the day when you're looking for like what is basically the doujinshis that are around for artwork of them. Definitely seen my fair share of that type of artwork, we'll put it that way. So.
I mean, it's just, but like, that's the thing. Like, it was just, no matter what, like whether it was his fucking rocket launcher, his dick hands, or whatever he was becoming, you never felt like they found a way to keep him interesting. Because Birkin, like, I'll admit, like, Birkin was interesting, but he was still like kind of just too slow. So after a while, you're like, oh, okay. But even actually the other day was just its birthday. The 26 years of this game, no matter what form he's in, he's still gonna be dangerous. I mean, especially when when you finally come back as Carlos, and he's just, he just takes it all off, and it's just fucking tentacles everywhere. And now,
just free tentacles.
And his mouth can move for some reason now, I guess. I don't know if you've ever noticed that, but because I remember the first time I saw that, I actually got caught in that spider hallway in the clock tower.
Mhm.
and Nemesis is just, grabs Jill and he's just slamming her. And I should be terrified, but I'm like, is his mouth finally moving?
You see it. You see
Yeah.
it open a couple times. Like you see it. Like the original one is the one, or the remake one is the one where you see like kind of the teeth always together.
I thought that only happened in the original where his mouth moved after he transformed when Carlos came back. I could have sworn that was the only time. That's when they started doing it.
Yes, after that form is when it begins. But you see it beyond that, like at the clock tower later and stuff like that. Like you start seeing the mouth move.
Oh yeah, in cinematics, but in game for whatever reason it never moved. But then it just started to. It's just like, hey, we can do this now. And it's like, oh okay.
Yeah.
But I mean, all of his encounters, man, it's just great. Like what's your favorite encounter with him? Whether it's a boss battle or encounter, like what's your favorite?
Oh goodness, God, I do. Oh, I just love him so much. Let me think on that. What is your favorite? I think I know, but I was like, let me count them down. No, I do know. It's on the roof when you're coming out of the when Jill does her tumbles and stuff, and you're coming out of forgive me, the
newspaper office.
Yes.
Yep.
That would probably be my favorite one. Honestly, he's just because that's one of the first instances where you really see that the environment means nothing to him. He can literally be anywhere.
Yeah.
And I think that was such a cool aspect of it. I mean, we see things later in Resident Evils, like with the Baker family and Jack coming through walls and stuff like that. And you kind of saw that with Mr. X as well in the original one. But there really wasn't too much as far as like situations where it's like different point of views for a game that's in a set camera angle.
Yeah.
So I love that it's like we changed the camera angle, but it's because he's there and he's that impending terror. I would say that's probably my favorite. I have to give it because that's it. How about you?
Well, yeah, like I was gonna say it's probably that. Actually, okay, no, I got two tied for first place. It's that one where he jumps off the building,
yes.
From the newspaper office, and then the battle you fight him in when you're in that room near the end before he becomes that like giant blob form, like the one where like you get locked in that room and you have the acid valves. Mm-hmm. Oh my god, that. I did not know, like, I only discovered this probably about maybe a decade ago. If you hit him with enough acid bats, his head falls off. I only ever saw the head fall off when you beat him. But the head falls off, his arm gets burnt off, and he's got the one arm left, and he's still going.
He still slings the tentacle at you. Yep.
And it's like, somehow he knows where you are. He tracks you. I'm like, dude.
The parasites.
Yeah. It's just like,
they know.
What is going to take to stop this guy? He just... he's literally took an acid bath, and I don't know if you know this is something interesting that I only actually realized a couple years ago. When after you do that fight and you come out of that room, you know how you're on that top floor, and then at one point the camera will look down to that pool of water where the hunters are. Mm-hmm. You see the Nemesis down there, where his body, when that cutscene happens and he gets dumped. I didn't know that. Yes. That's the dumping area where you see his body just get thrown in there, and then all the bubbles that are there, that's his corpse. I had no idea that was him, because that's where all the waste came from. And once you take care of those naked zombies, you can't, if you go too far, you can't go back and see. But I was like, dude, this game literally is just giving us everything. Yeah. They don't have to do these small detailed things. And for fuck's sake, the hunters can hang from ceilings.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe they felt that they weren't going to have that many RE games after, or maybe with the new consoles coming, things were going to change, and they just literally wanted to give you everything in the kitchen sink, because I feel they did with this.
Again, my bias may be speaking, as it's one of my favorites, but I really feel like all the elements of what really makes you feel a Resident Evil game from all the different games are really just kind of compounded so much into RE3. And I understand, again, it is different in that certain ways, like you're not selecting characters, there's not that disc 1, disc 2 kind of situation. But I feel like as far as like your gameplay, you're still getting your puzzles, you're doing the backtracking, you're fighting zombies, but then also elevated versions of monsters you've also met in other games. And then, yeah, I think it's my favorite. So obviously I like it for a reason.
Yeah.
But I definitely think when it comes to someone's like, what really makes and feels like a Resident Evil to you, to me, having played literally all of them, I would say 3 is still like the one to me that I'm like, when it comes to when someone's like, what game should I play to feel like the original Resident Evil feel? I always tell them, I do tell friends, I'm like 3. I'm like, the most popular is 2, and you will probably love Leon. I'm not going to shade you from that, especially because most people that ask me are female. I'm like, you will probably love Leon, so you'll probably love 2. But I personally will tell you to play 3 because it's going to give you a good feel of what to expect, the difficulty level of what you should expect, that kind of thing. Because I did make the mistake of telling someone they should play Veronica once and as their first game, and because they really liked like the aesthetic of Claire, and I was like, 2 is great, but you might have an easier time playing Code Veronica. So I did lend them my Code Veronica, and they never finished it because of the difficulty. And I learned right then and there that as much as I love Code Veronica as well, it's not one that I could really say, like, play this one first. Because it's a lot to kind of jump into without knowing the mechanics of Resident Evil, without
it really is
difficulty gauge.
Well, I mean, Code Veronica's just got that really big difficulty spike from the original trilogy. I mean, don't get me wrong, I still love Code Veronica. The game's got its flaws, believe me, but I still defend it to this day to a lot of people.
I agree with you. The fact that you can soft lock for Chris, it tells you all you like. So it's definitely a different level of like management and knowing, how to play a Resident Evil, I guess, or making the mistakes a couple times, or having that oomph to keep going even when you have to start over if you have soft lock, because I have soft locked on Chris.
Yep. I did that years ago when I first got the game, and I thought I was just doing something wrong for the longest time, or something went wrong. Like I was like, oh, maybe I did screw this up, or maybe I forgot. And then I eventually
pick something up. Like, what did I do?
I got the guide eventually, and I was just like,
my items. I need weapons. What?
And I mean, I think, and we talked about this before the stream, but there is like, or maybe it was earlier in the stream, but we did talk about how this game has pretty good replay value, almost compared to the first 2.
I would agree, especially with all the choices, because you can make one choice at the very beginning. Do I go in the station or do I fight the monster? And then, that one doesn't have a really big effect on things later, unless you're going for the eagle parts, of course. But at least, but you don't know which one of those do. What they really, am I going to see Nemesis again earlier, later? Are they going to come? So there's a lot of things that it's like, I picked selection A on this choice, but then in the police station, I picked selection B. Well, this time I want to select B, and then the next time A. So there's a lot of different choices, and you can kind of see how those elements really react to the game and how it changes the dialogue, especially with, I would say in the diner is probably one of the bigger ones. Like, do you blow up or do you go down, and the interaction with Carlos with that, I think there's a lot there. So yeah, there's definitely just in the choices a lot of replayability, but then also with the RNG elements of like what enemies you get and where things can spawn. Even RNG, and like one of my favorite things in the game when people are playing, Resident Evil 3 for the first time, or they're playing it, I'm like, when they're in the clock tower and they're going up the stairs, are they gonna get the stars? There's little things, just dialogue that's RNG. And so there's little elements that the more you play it, the more you can kind of realize there's so much more to this game. I'm learning every time I play it. It's different every time I play it. So it kind of like makes it so it's not, not that repetitive is bad, because I enjoy a good replay of a game that's a story-based RPG, and you know what you're getting with that, But this one just really is just so much richer. And again, adding to that character, that like, well, not character, well, character in that Raccoon City, but that world development, that world building. Oh, love it.
Yeah, it's great. Even like this, obviously Resident Evil has always been about, exploration and finding things. And in Resident Evil 1, they kind of have that where you explore something and then there's like, a magazine in here, or when you search Kenneth's body in the beginning and, you realize, oh shit, he's got two mags on him. Okay, let's go. But then in Resident Evil 3, it's like even bigger because there's the gate that you unlock with the jewels to the City Hall or whatever. Yes. And there's a corpse that's pinned that you wouldn't think, oh, it's pre-rendered looking.
It's got ammo.
It's got handgun ammo.
Got handgun ammo, yep.
And you're just like, and I'm just like, that is such an ingenious way. I mean, like you kind of saw that in 2 a little bit, but in this one, it's just you don't think to check the backgrounds, and then before you get to the, when you open the door and you go to the like the area where the trolley is, where the zombies can be in the door, and there's that barrel there, you search that corpse. Yeah. The dogs. They'll go right through the fire.
Yeah, or dogs. You hope for dogs. Fingers crossed for dogs. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No. Like you, there's that corpse that's just laying against the door, and you don't think to check it. When you do, there's shotgun shells in it. So it's like little things like that. Like the guy that's webbed up in that hallway of spiders in the thing. Sometimes I think it's like grenade rounds. Sometimes.
Grenade rounds. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's just shit like that is what makes replay value so good, because again, the real fear of the Nemesis makes it so it's like, shit, I can't stop and check anything right now. He's running down me, like he's coming after me.
Yeah. So, or even the environment. You're like, okay, well, for perfect example is when you're doing like the lighter and you're trying to do put the oil in the lighter, and then you're trying to burn the rope so you could open it, and then a barricade falls and you get a bunch of zombies. So you don't have time. You're thinking, oh, let me open that door and then I can kind of look at the area, and then something will happen and you're like, okay, well now I gotta go. Like it's a very much like you don't know what environment, or you're trying to, oh, I finally got the hose, let me take this fire out. Dogs. There's always some element that's being brought to the table. So you're like constantly in that fear of like, okay, there's not a down moment, or I feel like I have one, and then something can happen. So yeah, you're constantly moving. Same thing with the bus area. That guy's there, but then you could possibly get crows. So out of the bus. So then it's like the whole area I'm trying to, do I want to knife or try to shoot all these birds, or do I just want to try to traverse the area without wasting the ammo? Obviously, I'm not going to try to waste the ammo because I need it for Nemesis. So I think you're right. I think it's one of those, like, this game has that, like, honestly, like that impending, like something can come at you at any moment. So you got to keep going. You got to move fast. You got to solve these puzzles quick, because Nemesis could be there. If not, another creature could be there. So the environment can sometimes get missed, but there's so much there. There's so much there. And story building elements as well that are there. And like going back to Dario and stuff like that, and like seeing like what happened with him. And,
oh yeah, that's right. When you go back,
you can get supplies and stuff like that. And you find out a whole story with him and like what happened, which one of my other little complaints with the remake is we don't get to go back and see him. But I'm like, so there are certain things that it's like, okay, you get rewarded for trying to find those story developments or try to find those moments, but those rewards could also come at a cost, because it could cost you a lot more ammo, and then later in a fight you may have to run from the monster instead.
Or it could cost you health items going back to certain places. And I think that's great. I mean just a little. I mean, hell, friggin', we understand how Brad's body got into the RPD and RE2, because when Jill comes out, his body's gone.
Mm-hmm.
And to me, that was always one of the greatest things, is that this game just changes things and gives you so much to unlock. I mean, she's got multiple outfits. There's multiple epilogues, which I would love to make small shorts of those, like Jill kicking down a door, shooting a zombie in a room, and like that first one where like when you beat the game and she finds Chris's knife on the floor.
Oh, and it's just stabbed in the oh yes.
Yeah. I would love to just like do a short thing like that. And I know there was no zombie in there, but it would just be great if there was. And she knew that was Chris's hideout, and it's the Star's knife. And dude, like just that, or Chris is sitting at a cafe and that girl that looks like Claire that walks by, and he
just walks by.
Dude, being able to film that Barry with his family, like this is the things, like, I mean, us as fans always want to see, because Capcom, nothing against them, but they don't really dive as much into these. I think Revelations 2 really did a lot of that, though, like diving
I was gonna say I was like, I feel like we do get a lot of good character growth and character development with many characters. Some it seems like, obviously, I mean, we can talk about that all day, where it's like some have favoritism, where we see them a lot more often, and then there's some characters like Carlos from 3 where we just never see him again, though we would love to see them, that kind of thing. Like, but I understand that they were created as a support character.
Yep.
Though I grew to love them, they are supporting the character, which is Jill, and Jill's story. And the story is being told from, in this case, Jill's perspective. So we're only going to see what they want to give us from Jill's perspective. So I respect the storytelling element and why we don't see them. But it's like, you guys got manga. Give me some manga.
Right?
I love the books. Give me some books. Let me read some books. Just give me that content. Give me a little spin-off game. I'll pay, you know, and like all things, like the Rose DLC for Village, like give me a DLC or something, just a little tidbit. Like, I think that, you know, certain things like that, like seeing that extra bit with Rose, like I was indifferent on the character Rose itself in Village. Obviously it's a baby. I just, you know, you don't know a lot about it, but then being able to actually play as her and get those feels, you know, and see her as a character, it gives you some love for them. And I think if we could get those with certain characters like Carlos and the cursed one to say, but Sheva, everyone loves Sheva and we all want more Sheva, and it hurts me every time I say her name because I'm like, we'll probably never get more Sheva. But there's certain characters that's like, we want to see them because they were so well written. But I also understand Sheva was there to enhance Chris's story, and we're seeing the rest of Chris's story in some of the other games. So I get it, but at the same time, it's like, oh, Capcom, just give us a little bit more. Just give us those little, but Revelations, you're right, to circle back to that, sorry. Revelations, I think, too, especially giving us Barry and Moira, if I can say her name right, getting to see those connections, and even some of her personal, like being afraid of guns.
Yep.
Being able to see those elements of like the character and what they've been through and how these things affected them and their family was very important. And I can't really say the same for Jake, but I mean, there's definitely other characters that they've given us where we've seen how this world and these characters have, you know, affected them. And I like that. And I agree with you. I think if we could get a little bit more of like those prologues and stuff like we did in the OG games and some of the more recent games, that would be fantastic. Because I would love certain things, like I know a couple friends like Village, like seeing other characters that may or not still be around, to see elements of like what could have happened to them or prequels to what became of them, especially like the lords. So and that is something that will always eat at me. Like I'm always wanting more lore and more stuff into the Resident Evil universe. So I would agree with you. I think Capcom could give us a little bit more, but they give us a lot, so I can't complain.
They do. We sit here and complain about the things we want, but at the same time, yeah, you look at 3, they gave us 9 epilogues, although I still do not understand why Carlos didn't get one. Everybody else got one, but not him.
He was just a mercenary, you know? I guess no one cares what happens to him, even though his whole group, and he's probably gonna have PTSD because he had to, like, watch what was these, like, partners and stuff like that, especially, like, Mikhail and stuff like that, like, die in front of him.
Yep.
I don't know, you know, we don't know how long he worked with them, but he obviously knew them very well, so you would assume they'd been together a while.
Yep.
And then to see someone like Nikolai, who, again, he knew, become what he was, I mean, at this point we can talk spoilers, the traitor that he is, like, you know, for the bottom line money, and there's obviously going to be a lot to him, and I want to see, like, what happened, what did he do next,
because canon wise he's alive.
He's like another one of those ones which I know will break people's hearts, but like Billy, you know, we don't have any idea like how things affected him and how everything affected him, then what became of them. I understand Billy's a little bit different because he was wanted, so he kind of had to stay more in hidings, but Carlos is not wanted. He could be out in the open. He could be an advocate like Claire, or he could be working underground and helping to stop things with Umbrella, like, you know, any other person that is, like, but doing it on a military level.
Yeah.
You know.
I mean, like, that's just like all the great things that this series has given us, like all like these what if ideas, and again, like how they handled a lot of that stuff in RE3's epilogues were great. Well, I mean, the Leon Claire one was a little different. I think clearly they didn't know where any of these characters were going to go.
No, it left it very open, but gave us that, you know, at that time for what was out, it gave us that little bit of like, hey, they're still around. We haven't forgotten them. Here's that little tidbit of a little bit of love. Here's to sprinkle it on you. Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, I always loved, I think one of my favorite epilogues was, oh God, which one was my favorite? I think it was Ada's, because obviously you knew she survived, and the fact that they were referencing her in the next game. Yes. And that was a great one. I just loved how like that was drawn, and the Hunk one was really good too, because you got to see him without his mask on.
Yes, that was one of our first times we got to see him, like, and of course they say, those of us that are fans, what was it, Mr. Death, I think they call him in the translation, but it's like being able to see him just like sitting there on the copter and like you said, without the helmet on. That was crazy, because who would have thought, right?
Right? No, like 3 just, I mean, like I said, all the costumes they just gave us were just great. What's your favorite costume? Everything that you can unlock with her.
So, again, probably bias. I love the Regina, the Dino Crisis outfit. I think it totally fits Jill. It looks sleek. The red hair pops. Like, it's 10 out of 10. Yep. I do love it. I think anyone that likes like the Capcom games and like the horror, and like those were coming out, the Dino Crisis were big around that same time. So if you were into Resident Evil, chances are you're playing the Dino Crisis games too. Like, I enjoyed those. That it was one of those situations where I was like, wow, a crossover. I'm gonna play this costume.
It was. I mean, it was a great thing. Plus, I mean, depending on which version of RE3 you got, because I think that not all of them had it, but there was a demo disc for Dino Crisis.
Yes.
And vice versa, demo disc for RE3 when you bought Dino Crisis.
Yes, actually, I think, I have one with that. I think they're like one of the original ones came with that for the US release. I was like, I have so many. It's one of those ones. It's like Resident Evil 4. I have so many copies of that game. It's like, which one is which?
Yeah, I mean, like I think my favorite outfit. It's basic, but it was one that they added to the Dreamcast one, and it's the blue button-down shirt and the leather pants. I think they're leather. They could be jeans. I don't know.
Just like the black, right? Yeah. It was like the black. Yes, that I agree with. It was she looked very, very good.
I always loved that when I played the Dreamcast one, because technically with Dreamcast they made it easy. You didn't even have to unlock anything. They were all there to choose at the beginning, which I thought was kind of a bummer. But to see that they added the two outfits to that was great. I think it got added to the PC version. I know I got the actual physical version of the PC version from back in the day. I have that. But yeah, that outfit to me is still my favorite. Anytime I play the Dreamcast one, that's the one that I always load. Because their other one is like the special one they put in that one was like there was the tank top one.
And like the mini skirt, it was like the same mini skirt and tie, but it was like the blue tank top.
Yeah, I think she had like stripes going across it, if I remember correctly.
Maybe. I just remember it was it was very plain, because I was like, why would I wear this one when I could just have her in the classic tube top? So I never went with that one. Yeah. I would go with either Regina or then which my friend Anne cosplayed, the police woman version, which I love.
That's
well.
Right. She did. Yeah. I've seen her like share older photos of that.
Yes. I shot those photos because I was like, you were doing Resident Evil 3 alternate outfit, Jill. Let's go.
I mean, I've always loved that when cosplayers like just do the alternate outfits that are out there. Like, it's always great to do the original, of course, but if you choose one of the alternates, it's
out of love. It's always out of love. And that, not that the other ones aren't. I'm not saying that at all. As a cosplayer, I've cosplayed things for groups that it's like, I enjoyed it. I loved it. But like, there's some things that it's like certain characters that you have that it's like, no one's going to recognize this. But I don't care. I want to make this because I love it. And I want to see like it in a physical form. And I just want that to be able to craft and make this and be able, if someone's like, well, what are you cosplaying, to, that smile come across your face and be like, well, let me tell you, this is an alternate outfit from, that kind of like enthusiasm. And I think that's when you really see like that it comes from a place of like true love.
Yeah. I mean, that's one of the reasons why I love there's so many options for things like Dead or Alive, because not even just counting the swimsuits, like they all have a million friggin' outfits, and people might not recognize the character in certain outfits, but you're just like, oh, well, this is like their unlock outfit number 12. And speaking of DOA, technically today is the 13th anniversary of DOA 5.
Oh wow! I actually hadn't realized that. My goodness.
I saw it on, like, because I follow fighting game anniversaries on Twitter, and I saw that, and I was just like, has it been that fucking long? That I'm just like, God damn, dude! Like, this series, man. I mean, I love DOA. Well, we'll have to get you back for a DOA podcast at some point. Yes. I know you love DOA just as much as I do.
Yeah, I'm a Tina Armstrong stan.
Yep. Well, I mean, yeah, because you cosplayed her before too, right?
Yes, yeah, I did. Yeah. Many years ago. Many years ago.
God, man. I always wanted to do one of Jan Lee's bouncer outfits, and I just never got. And then to do Bayman too, and I never got around to it. I always hated myself for never getting around to doing that. Still can if I just stop being lazy.
I was just saying, the time is now. You know?
But yeah, I mean, so yeah, you've done a lot of like cosplays for Resident Evil, especially.
Yes.
How many have you done of Jill? Because our first shoot that we did together when we first met was remake Jill.
Yes, I have done, I think, only 2 of Jill, like canon costumes, not anything for fun.
Oh, right,
which was the remake version of 3.
Yep.
And then the original version of 3 with like the tube top.
Right.
Yeah, I'll be honest, like when I first started cosplaying, because I've been in the cosplay scene for a while, it was more or less like, I'm a little bit taller than most girls. I run, I'm almost 5'11", so it's a lot of the characters, they're 5'2", 5'3", 5'4", so I had this hesitation that it's like, well, I don't really fit Jill. I felt like I fit, I don't know why, because she's just as short as Jill, but Claire a little bit more, so really I kind of went towards Claire. And then when Resident Evil 5 came out and I saw Excella, I like fell in love, and I was like, finally, like a woman of woman. Like, I don't know how else to explain it, but it's literally what I thought and what I said to myself. And I was like, it was more or less not a woman of woman. It was like a woman that I saw that I could cosplay, that I was like, oh my gosh, I feel like I could fit this physique without like criticism, because it was, I mean, cosplay is still critical and it never should be, but there still is that element of like, I want to put my best foot forward, and I want to represent this character to my best of my ability. And you almost put, and I've had this discussion with my friend Indra before, you put these characters on pedestals where you hold them so high and of such high regard, where you just, I want to make this and I want to make it as accurate as possible. I want to look just like them. I want to, really just bring them to life. And she was really that first character, Excella, that I really felt like I felt that I could fit and do that with. And whether or not I actually did, it's a whole nother argument, but I was very happy with that costume. And the first time I did Jill, it's not that I wasn't happy with it. It took me a long time to wear it because I didn't feel like I fit what you see in the game. So I never really touched Jill too much. I feel like Lady D was like the second time that happened to me, was when I saw a character where I was like, a tall woman who's curvy, who's like, I was like, sign me up. Like, as did many people, which is amazing because I love seeing all the Lady Ds. And, but, and then it at that time in my life though, I was beyond like where I'm like, you have to be like a 1-for-1 of a character. It's not about that. I can make them, I can do them, I can have fun. And I think at that point I cosplayed Claire a couple times. I'd done Ashley, which I am nothing like, as far as like typical things like the blonde and all that, wigs and stuff. But I'm much more assertive of a character, which is why I tend to go towards more of the baddies, if that makes sense.
It's true, yeah. You did do Lady Hunk, which I thought was like the greatest fucking thing in the world. I was like, somebody actually, let's go. Someone actually did it.
I could like as part of like me collecting things and stuff, I like to buy like the official costumes. I love making my own costumes, no question. But when they released the Capcom official Hunk vest, I was like, I need this. This is fantastic. I need this in my collection. But then when I had it, I was like, yeah, but I mean, now I've got to use it in a cosplay. Like, so I have to I was like, well, I could do regular Hunk. And then I was like, or hear me out, I could do Lady Hunk. Hunk, which like people like it's amazing how many people don't know that that's canon, and like it's a canon character in Mercenaries or whatnot, but it is a canon character and not just like me trying to make a female version of Hunk, which there's nothing wrong with, but
Yeah.
I'm going off of source material. It's a Capcom official source material, kind of like Pirate Jill. You know, it's a thing, it exists, it's real.
Oh my god, Pirate, that's crazy. But yeah, no, you did that, and technically that's how I found you, because it was years ago on DeviantArt. I saw your Excella, and I'm just like, ain't nobody cosplaying this character, and cosplay
right?
and that's the thing, and like that cosplay was very different back then. So to do a character that, while it was in 5, a lot of people I think would always shift towards being a main character. You know, you were just one of the main villains, and you did it. I mean, dude, you didn't even use a wig. You used your real hair for that, didn't you?
That was my real hair.
Yeah,
that was my real hair in that costume.
Not a lot of cosplayers, like, it's always wigs with cosplayers for the most part, so...
Yeah, I think that one, and then when I did Lulu for Final Fantasy X, that was my real hair with in the bun, all the front and everything to the bun was my real hair, and then coming out of the bun, those were extensions, because her hair is extremely long.
Oh yeah.
And even at my longest, which is now, it's only, mid back, like almost mid back, so it's not nearly long enough for Lulu. That's some maintenance I don't have patience for.
Yeah. But it was just crazy. Like, I saw that costume, I was like, oh cool, she's cool, I'll follow her. It's like, oh cool, she does like fighting game stuff and everything, that's cool. And then eventually I came across you on like Instagram, and we just like bonded over Resident Evil, and then we met at PAX East. East, we had a great time, and then the world ended.
Yes. Yeah. Oh my goodness. Yep. Then the world ended.
Yep. That was literally, because that year started off so great. Because I remember me and the team were at PAX South. We had Nick Apostolides with us. We were all having fun. Everyone's doing great. Then like you start hearing about people getting sick a lot, and everyone's like, it's that time of the year, no big deal. Then they were talking like during PAX East, like, oh my god, this, like, whatever this is spreading so bad. Like this cold is really getting out of control.
That year, right? Wasn't it Sony pulled out, and a couple of game studios started pulling out because it was getting that, I'm talking like 2 or 3 days before the event, kind of pulling out.
Yeah, they did. Yeah, it was last minute for a lot of them, and so a lot of people were like, wow, this cold is really scaring people. And then like a week later we found out, oh yeah, we're shutting down everything. So it was just like all this cool stuff, and then boom, pandemic. And I was like, we got hit by the panini.
Yeah, and it sucked there for a couple years, and it was really hard for a lot of people, and I know it hit a lot of people hard, like both emotionally, socially, like all around, or even just getting sick. The element of like the fear of it, especially if you had any type of like at-risk relatives or family members,
autoimmune,
that it's just like, well, I can't go see them, because my grandma was battling cancer at the time, and I didn't see her for almost, and I see her regular, she's the one who taught me to sew. I would see her regularly, and I didn't go to see her for probably 8-9 months, because I had to get to a point where I knew I wasn't around enough people where I could then go see her, where there's no chance of like contamination or me bringing something where she's compromised. I know, and I'm blessed, and I didn't lose anybody in my family, or there was no type of like further complications. But yeah, the world stopped completely for a lot of people, and honestly, because of the loss a lot of people had, it really hasn't started in the same way since it happened, which is unfortunate. But we're seeing more levels of normalcy now, I think. A lot of people have kind of wised up, and now people aren't as avert. Like if I start feeling a little bit ill, luckily I work in a job that like my office is pretty much by itself, and I can tell people stay away from me. Well, but I can wear a mask, I can keep myself safe, other people safe. Yeah. And I think that's what it really comes down to. But the world stopped. We connected afterwards though.
Yeah, I mean, it did suck, because like I remember I had so many plans that year, and I wanted to like travel and do shoots for people and stuff, and then that happened. But one of the things I loved seeing when all the world got shut down was that everybody was just tuning into people on like Twitch and YouTube, and people were discovering Resident Evil through that, and I think that was just like one of the coolest things. That like, you took a bad situation and started discovering, oh my god, like all these people are watching me, all these people are coming out and having fun, like to the streams, and and some people are just discovering Resident Evil, and I know Capcom didn't didn't personally like when people made jokes comparing the T virus to like the COVID virus and stuff. They apparently were not big fans of that and stuff. But I was
Yeah.
like, I mean, like, I get it, but people are buying your games more than they ever have before.
Yeah, it definitely, I can see with everyone kind of being stuck in the house, looking for new games, watching streamers, exactly what you said.
Yep.
It's the same thing in my job. Sales started going up because it's model kits, so people started building again. So business was, there was always work in that sense for me. But I could see where people were getting into it. But yeah, comparing I see where it could come off as a little insensitive, and as a company, I may not want to embrace that. So I definitely see where they're coming from. One that's in a work of fiction versus one that people are truly dealing with. It can be sensitive.
Yeah,
and
it can be. I think maybe like a good joke for Capcom would have done it is just be like, it's like, here at Capcom, we are very cautious about what our people do in our secret underground labs during these times and stuff. I think something like that, like people would have probably gotten a good chuckle out of it and everything. Instead, because you can't take yourself too seriously, and if you have fun with stuff, then you find ways to do be able to do that stuff, to have fun with it. I mean, obviously in a time where it's really bad, but that's kind of, I think, when like laughter is important or anything.
No, I agree with you.
Keep you sane.
Yeah, no, that's. Laughter is very important. Finding that joy, even in the little things, especially when things seem down, they can really, brighten that day. Or just how much a smile or a good discussion, a good laugh really does just can turn your mood around.
Yeah.
So I agree with you.
It can. And I mean, obviously, as you was talking about, like models and stuff like that, you have a insane collection of virtually anything you love, and your Nemesis collection is outstanding.
Thank you.
From like what I've seen and from like what you've sent me, and I'm just like, it's like a shrine to the character.
Yeah, you can look at it that way. No false idols here. But he's as close to he's probably my most collected particular character that I have. I would definitely say, I'm trying to think of, I have others. I try to, in my house, I have like rooms that are themed. I like to theme things like, my guest bathroom here, that's closest to me is themed after the video game Portal. My downstairs is Batman. I am everywhere on the spectrum with things. My downstairs living room is completely Borderlands.
Yep.
And then my upstairs living room, like the formal entertainment room, that's all Resident Evil. And I'm always looking for more space in there. It's ridiculous. And then I don't have a dining room. I just have figures and collectibles. My dining room is just detolf after detolf after detolf of different figures and stuff like that. But yeah, when it comes to which character I have the most of, I would have to say it's Nemesis. I think the only one, I even try to buy any of the, not that I necessarily, third party has come so far, a lot of the third party merch is fantastic. I'm all about official art and official work all the time, but I also encourage to support local artists and even distant artists. I have so much fan art, and I have a little keychain wall here of my different Resident Evil keychains that are fan. So I like doing third-party fan stuff as well as official, and there's so much good third-party Nemesis stuff as well that I try to get those. But yeah, I think I'm missing which is something that's ridiculous. The Resident Evil 3 came out with, when you bought all the little figures, you got a little piece of third form Nemesis, and then you could combine them all together and I do not have that Nemesis, the blobbed anamorphic final version Nemesis that you get from combining all of those. If you can find it, it's usually around $1,000, give or take. So it's one of the pieces. I have all the other ones. I have the Moby Dick's Nemesis with Carlos, and I have pretty much all the other ones, but that is one I don't have because it's hard to find and it's extremely expensive, even with parts missing. So I try to collect a little bit of everything. Maybe I'm obsessive. I don't know. My Nemesis shirt. I love Nemi. He's just so great. So
I mean, it's again, we talked about this earlier, but like he's just such a great character, and the fact that they have made a lot of official merch for it shows you how much they love of him, and obviously the third party stuff. Because sometimes you and I have been around for a long time. We both know that some characters just never get anything.
Yeah.
And the third party people come out of here and be like, we'll make that happen.
Yeah. I mean, a perfect example of that in the Resident Evil universe is I feel like William Birkin. Like, we don't really have too much merchandise. Like, we have way more of like Tyrant than we do of William Birkin.
Yep.
I feel like, yeah. Same thing with, I have tons of Leon. I have tons of Chris. I have tons of Jill, and I love them all greatly. But I got no Rebecca. I got nothing. I got one figure with Rebecca. It's one of those little old, forgive me, I can't remember who made it. And it's her with her back against the wall, and it's a hunter on the other side of the wall.
Yes, because it's the one with Chris, and the snake is behind him.
Yes. I have that whole set, and that is the only thing I have other than a few from the movies where they've come up with the acrylic stands of Rebecca. Right. But there's been no actual like figures outside of the one with her and the hunter that I have seen that's official of Rebecca. And there's certain ones that's like, I love Rebecca. I think she's really great. I think she went through so much and came out so good and on top. Like, you see how much she's doing and what she's doing in the movies and stuff, and I love it. And it's just like, Capcom, I'll eat up that merch. Just give it all, you know? So, and I feel like we did get a few things with Sheva, with the Hot Toys. So even Sheva, I feel, has like a little bit more merch than even Rebecca.
Yeah, because not only the Hot Toys, but there was the regular like toys that you'd buy for like $25. I have that
clamshell one.
Yes. Yeah. Wait, which ones were they?
Sorry, I call it clamshells when they're in the like plastic.
Yeah.
Like the boxes. Sorry.
Yeah. Because who was the one that did those ones? What was the company?
I have to go get mine because I have the Krauser. I have the other ones too of like the different ones.
Oh, from 4.
I have the 4 ones, and then I have some of the 5, and I even have some of the original ones from 1, but I think that one was a different company. Nice. I don't remember who did it might have been NECA. It's probably NECA.
Yes, NECA. It was them. They were.
Because I have the Gears of War ones too.
That's right. I forgot.
I love NECA. I like their NECA stuff.
NECA always does really good with creatures, but when it comes to Brittany and I have talked about this, like where we weren't really a fan of how they do human faces sometimes.
I don't mind the faces. The thing I found is that over time, because I have some of their Predator stuff, and I have their Predators and stuff like that, the joints, especially in their knees, get very weak. So if you open them and you display them open, which some things I do, some things I don't. But if you open them, my Predators were opened, the knee joints just really deteriorate. My Gears ones were the same way. Like, I opened all my Gears other than I had the Pink Lancer Anya, and I did not open that one. But like all my other ones, all my Locusts and stuff I opened, and they kind of all had that same thing where the joints over time just kind of like didn't hold up, which I know is just a product of its time. So it maybe some joint glue or something like that to just kind of strengthen it might help. But they definitely needed that type of like upkeep, unfortunately. But yeah, I mean,
hell, the toy
for their time.
Yeah,
they were good. They were great toys for their time and their cost, in my opinion. I think they were pretty efficiently priced for what you got.
Well, like, I mean, even the Toy Biz ones, Jill's arm fell off of every version of her. I heard this story from so many other people. Because I asked them, was like, did her arm ever fall off for you? And they're like, oh, fuck yeah, it did. All the time. It felt like it barely fit. And then Leon was hunched over like an old man, and his ankle, for whatever reason, broke for a lot of people. I was like, did you guys do the shotgun trick? And they're like, what's the shotgun trick? I was like, you use his shotgun as a cane to prop him up and then have the handgun in his other hand. And they're like, never thought about that.
And those are my ones that are still like, I still haven't sealed. I didn't open those. So I haven't dealt with the issue of like the parts falling off, because that is one of the few figures that like is still in. Because my Jill and I did want to open the spider. That was like, I love spiders. Like, I went to school for entomology. I love them. So like when I saw that one, I was like, oh, I like how this aesthetically looks in the packaging. I'm going to keep this one packaged. And of course, if you keep one packaged to make the aesthetic look good, you got to keep the rest. So
yeah.
Those are ones I didn't have to fight with that pain because mine were sealed still. Mine are still in their boxes, though. They've got that the UV sheen of yellow over the plastic, if that makes sense, from their age.
Yep.
So it might be time to start opening them. But maybe not, now that I know that about the arm on Jill. I didn't know that,
Yeah,
actually.
no. Jill's like, because I remember I talked to other people over the years, and they all had the same problem, and Leon's ankle was the same thing. And I remember the only one I never had was the Wesker. I never got the Wesker one, because I never saw it. I never saw the Toy Biz version of Wesker. I think he came with a Hunter, if I remember correctly.
I'll be honest, I don't have that one either, so yeah. I don't actually know.
I never saw that, and then the only one I ever saw but never bought was Ada, because she came with the Ivy, and I never really got the Ada one. And one of my friends, she got Ada years ago. She goes, "This is how like I think this is like when I realized that I loved women." And I was like, "What are you talking about?" She goes, "Ada's boobs were huge in that dress," and I'm like, "Were they?" And stuff. So because I haven't seen the figure in years and stuff. I never looked it up and everything. But I mean, I was just like, really? They were? And she's like, I remember that. And I was like, all right, I'll take your word for it.
Ada was her awakening. I respect that. The Ada figure. I like it.
I mean, now with how Ada looks in a lot of her outfits, it's just like, yeah, I can see that.
Hey, I can't say anything. I've been playing Nikkei because of the Resident Evil collab.
I
gave in. So I haven't spent any money. They haven't gotten any money. I'm still free to play, but I did start playing when I saw the Resident Evil collaboration, because I was like,
is it what even is it? Like I know this Nike thing has been kind of like growing slowly in popularity, but I don't know anything about it.
Oh, it's just a mobile game. As far as I started last week, because I wanted to play enough that in case, how certain games you have to be a certain level to be able to do like the DLC or like the collabs or whatever. I was afraid that would be the case. So I started like a week early. I downloaded it and started playing it to get through the story. And yeah, it's basically just these robot girls that are Nikkeis, and you're a commander, and you go out into the field and you fight these, I think they're called Reapers. I might be wrong. Forgive me if I am. Again, I'm a weekend. But these other mechanical things that are evil, as far as I'm aware. The story's actually not that bad. It's just a lot of the costumes and the mechanics of the jiggling kind. They have I have figures. It's okay. I enjoy it just as much as the next person. I'm already in love with one of the characters in the game. Like, I love her aesthetically. Like, so, but I started playing.
You're not gonna cosplay her, are you?
Oh, I actually posted her on Instagram today, because I was like, wait, but listen though. Okay. Listen though. Right, hear me out. And then one of my friends messaged me. She's like, dude, she's you. Why haven't you done this? And I'm like, oh.
All right, hold on.
It's a very good question.
I'm looking this up.
It's in my story. It's not bad.
Yep.
It's not bad.
Yep, that's you.
Yeah, it's not bad.
That's actually
kind of
dope.
Tame.
Yeah, so, it is. That's pretty tame.
She's dressed. She's dressed.
I mean, I gotta admit, I do dig the jacket that she's wearing.
Yeah, I think she uses a rocket launcher. Like, there's weapons involved. So, but I've really only been like hyper focused on the Resident Evil story aspect, and it's really not at all connected. It's one of those like isekai, like they get isekai into the Nikkei world.
Oh,
so,
no.
like, yeah, and they talk about things in Raccoon City, but it's not really like. It's just there to make the fans happy, right? And that's okay. I'm a fan, and I'm playing it because of it. It's a successful collab.
Yeah,
good job, Capcom.
Well,
you got me.
Well, I did see. I think someone posted it on Twitter, and it was Jill in the battle suit, but it was and everything, and like that they actually have the voice actresses that came back.
It's all the same voice. Yes,
I was
all
like,
the voice
wow.
actresses. Yep.
I was like, that's. Because I expected, like, with a lot of these, they just get the Japanese actors, but I was like, wow, they got the English voice actors. And then I remember the Jill in the battle suit, they were like, you want to take me out for a sandwich? And I'm like, who's writing this? Because they clearly get the joke. Like, this is good.
Yeah, so Jill's not out yet as far as like a character you can get in the game. I think she comes out like October 2nd or something like that. They released Ada as the first, and then you can kind of like every gacha, you can draw and pull for her. And then when you pull for her, you get her in the RE2 remake outfit, and then one of the free, once you unlock her, they give you a second outfit, which is her RE4 remake outfit.
Oh,
which
nice.
is beautiful. I love it. The sweater dress, it looks great. That's what I have her in my game. But then behind a paywall, they have her in the DLC outfit, which is the Chinese dress that she wears with like the red and black.
Oh, you're right, from 4, yeah.
Yes.
The original
so
4.
That's behind the paywall. So when Jill comes out, I believe she's going to be the same thing, where you're going to get RE3 remake Jill as the classic once you pull her. Then as the unlockable for getting her, you get the RE3 outfit, which is just the tube top version. And then I think they're going to put the RE5 one behind the same thing. It's like it's a battle pass style paywall. So
Right.
It's like you have to unlock like certain levels. But the premium tier, if you unlock the final level, you get the costume, and it's like $20. So I'm happy with RE3 remake and original, so I probably will not be spending money, but I looked at the battle outfit. It looked pretty cool. If it has specific dialogue, I mean, I love Nicole, so like I will probably, anything, like if it's putting more money in her pocket, hopefully it does, like I'm definitely gonna support it. Like I absolutely love her as Jill, so
I think she's a great Jill. She's probably, I would say, my 3rd favorite Jill.
okay.
I would say that because I mean, maybe it's because I'm biased, but I just love Catherine Disher as Jill. Because in OGRE3, you really, if we got to talk about like voice acting in Resident Evil, you got like at 3, I feel like they perfected so much. It wasn't like it was in 1 or 2. Yeah.
The execution on the lines and stuff like that was completely there. I agree.
It was
like
it was great.
You know, it wasn't quite as chunky as like certain lines, you know, the like in RE1, which, you know, becomes a meme at this point with some of the lines that they have. You know, I think everybody knows Barry's "I've got this."
Yep.
You know, even Jill's, like some of hers, like Barry, like it's not bad. It's just it is a product of its time.
Yeah, exactly.
And I think even for its time, RE3, I agree, elevated. Like, I mean, to this day, no one can criticize. You want stars? I'll give you stars. Perfect. Perfect execution, perfect moment, perfect scene, angle, everything. 10 out of 10, no notes. Sorry, 10 out of 10 stars, no notes. Like, it's so good. And that's not the only line in the game, which of course, but it is probably the most well-known, I think, for how it's executed, and to this day holds up. And that just speaks so much, I feel, for, I mean, there's not many PlayStation 1 games that I can think back on that I'm like, the dialogue, like, was so good. And I mean, there's some games like I've played that had like that, like, I think, oh God, I love Brave Fencer Musashi. I love that game, but that some of that audio is so bad.
Yeah, it is.
It's not anything as far as like, I wouldn't say it was the execution of the voice actor or actress in a lot of those cases. I think it was just, it's not in its state of where it is and everything happening in the game. It just didn't come together cohesively. Yeah. And that's fine. It's still, you know, it's that quirkiness and I love it. But RE3, I feel like, I mean, Carlos has a few lines, but like that are like, okay, sir, but it fits what they're developing as a character for him. And Jill puts him in his place when he has them. So it's fine.
No, she did. I mean, she really puts him in his place. She's like
slaps him.
Fuck out.
Slaps him. Which we unfortunately miss in the remake. But
I know.
But that's okay because Carlos got the best glow up.
Oh, yeah.
I cannot complain about Carlos whatsoever in the remake. And Carlos in the remake did not deserve to be slapped. So that's fine that we didn't get it.
Nah, Jeff Shine did an amazing job with him, dude. Like, he cooked in that role. And I just loved his whole portrayal. Like, I mean, every line he spat was like perfect. I love that one line where he's like, she's not like that. She's not like anybody. It's just like, puppy crush? What?
Right?
Like,
sir. I hear that admiration.
And like, I just love how like he tries to be respectful because she doesn't trust Umbrella. She's like such a dick to him. It's like,
I know.
I love it. It worked out so fucking well for them in that. And but like they've done great. And dude, like when I met Catherine, when we had her at the Rose Studio, you know, like, I remember, I think it was like Corey or like one of the guys was talking about it because, like, obviously Catherine's older now and stuff, and some of the guys were like, oh, she's probably gonna be like this nice, like grandma vibes kind of thing, like really like chill, kind of relaxed. Dude, she is a fucking firecracker.
Hell yeah,
dude. That's
what I'd expect out of Jill.
Dude, if she ever, and I mean ever, gets down to where you are, do whatever you have to go meet her.
Oh, I would.
You will fucking have the time of your life. She is one of the greatest people I have ever met. As a person, like for the interviews or a guest at a con.
Right.
She actually came to Boston like 2 months later. So I went. It was a small con. Like you could literally walk into the damn place. And she was with a lot of the other X-Men 97 actors too. So, but she's just like so like blown away by everybody's like kindness and like how like all those Resident Evil stories, because people know her mainly for Jean and stuff.
Yeah.
And and like when you hear her talk, she might not fully sound like Jill, but when she wants to do a line like that,
snapped in,
it's like it's engraved. Because like some actors, like their voices change and they can't do that voice anymore, or they can't do it as well as they used to. Nope, not her.
We change, yeah.
She is still Jill to this day. It is unbelievable. Like she is awesome, and the guy who played Carlos in the original, he's great too. I don't know if we're still trying to do something with Vince in the future. I hope we do, because he's when we had him on the podcast years ago, just super chill, super nice. To find out, I forgot he was Tuxedo Mask.
Oh my God, was he?
Yeah, I think he was.
I didn't know.
Was he? Because well, I mean, you're a big Sailor Moon fan.
Yeah.
I think he was the second one, or the longest serving one.
Okay.
Because I remember I met Linda Ballantyne. She was the longest serving Sailor Moon actress. Like when she was I think the second or third for Sailor Moon. But like
the one that I really follow, to circle back to Musashi. She did or not Musashi. She did Mega Man Volnut and Legends. She did Jupiter.
Oh my God, she did! I forgot about that.
That's who I used to follow as far as like in the scope of voice actresses in the Sailor Moon universe. So yeah. I don't know much about. Obviously, everyone knows Sailor Moon, but I don't know too much about like Tuxedo Mask or some of the others because, that like my obsession was like pretty much her.
And wasn't
I can't remember her name. Oh my God, it's killing me. It's like right there too. Oh my God. Oh my God, I've got to look it up now because it's actually going to kill me inside.
And maybe it's my brain, but wasn't Sailor Jupiter, wasn't she Regina? Or am I misremembering that?
I don't think so.
I gotta look.
Maybe. Yeah, we gotta fact check ourselves. I'm like, I don't know about that one.
Yeah, I gotta. Okay, let's see.
I gotta look up the old one because I'm getting the new stuff, and I keep forgetting that I have not watched the new Sailor Moon. Not that there's anything wrong with it. I just have not had the time to give myself to watch it, and I've heard good things.
Right.
So I'm like,
hold on. Okay, what is?
There we go.
Oh no, she was Sailor Venus.
Okay, that tracks.
Yeah, she was Venus and Regina.
Okay, yeah, that tracks.
She did it for a long time. Yeah, I remember I met the other, like, this was like over a decade ago. My sister and I met one of the other Tuxedo Mask actor as well, and he was super chill, super nice. My sister was so happy, and when we met Linda Ballantyne, she was super nice and telling us all these great stories. And eventually, after the interview we did with her at Anime Boston, she was like, "Yeah, like, do you guys actually want to walk with me down to my booth and everything? My husband's down there and stuff. You guys can meet him." And we're like, "Sure, we'll be your bodyguards." Because me being 6'1" and my sister being like 5'10" and everything, we're like, "Yeah, you're safe with us." My sister is just like, "Get to hang out with Sailor Moon," like she was fangirling the whole time.
Oh, I think that's a big part too of like when people are big fans and you're able to like, they're kind of like not closeted fans, but like they're not as outspoken as like because I was a pretty outspoken nerd in school. Like I had the folders and stuff of Dragon Ball Z and stuff. But like my brother, obviously, I said he introduced me to Resident Evil and video games and stuff. He was a popular kid, so he was more that hush hush nerd. Don't talk about it, you know. But then like I took him to his first convention, and I made him a costume. I actually made him one of my other things that I love because I love so many things and I was obsessive. We grew up playing Goemon, Gunbar Goemon and Mystical Ninja, those games, like I love them. So I made him a Goemon costume and I made his best friend Episamaru. And it took him a lot of convincing, took him a little bit of liquor, but he got in his costume and went out to the convention. But I did not know that Vic, I'll mispronounce, Mangina, I butcher his last name. He does the voice of Goemon in the anime, in the dubbed. I've never watched the dubbed. And he saw my brother in Goemon.
There was an anime. I forgot about that.
Yes. And I had it, and we have the DVDs, but this was because we're old. Back when you had to buy the DVD either dubbed or subbed. So we had bought the subbed versions of the DVDs or VHSs or whatever we had. I can't remember which one it was, but it was only subbed. And so we had no idea. And Vic comes up and he starts like doing all this and going crazy to my brother. He's like, "You're doing Goemon." And like, as cool as it was to be recognized because no one knew, but he had obviously voiced this character. My brother, it was just too much for him. It was just too much attention, and he went like straight back to the room and never wore a costume again. I've never been able to get him in a costume again. I bought him like low-key like nerd stuff. Like he loves Resident Evil 2 as well. Not he loves Resident Evil 2, but he loves Resident Evil as well. And I bought him 2 different jackets in his life. But we live in Florida, so he doesn't get to wear them too much. He has the Resident Evil 6 Leon jacket, like the leather one with like his stripes.
Ooh,
I bought
love
him that
one.
And then I bought him the RE4 one. It didn't fit him, so then I kept it. And that was the one that I wore when I did like some like sexy Ada photos in like Leon's jacket.
Oh, that's right. Yep.
That was the one I had bought it for him, but it didn't fit. But then Gap actually came out recently with a new type of jacket that is like I know we had an official one, but it was kind of expensive for Leon in the remake. But this was like Gap, which is like the budgeted version, kind of like their version of that same jacket. So I bought that one for him, and that one fits him. And now he has the RE4, which he can like almost never wear, and then the RE6 one, which I think he still has it. It's just living in Florida, we can never wear them. So
yeah, like is there really like no time at all in Florida? Like not even
like January.
I was gonna say like December, January. You got to be able to wear it for like a day at least.
Yeah, there's usually like a week that we can get away with it. But he actually lives a little bit further north in Florida than I do.
Oh, okay.
Closer to Jacksonville, so it gets a little bit colder than there. But he has a little bit more wiggle room. But I'm like right at the beach, Central Florida, so it's almost like I get a week. I get a week of where it's like actually like jacket weather. Yeah. I wear hoodies and stuff all the time because I get cold very easily. But as far as like what is actually jacket weather, I only get like a week.
Yeah, Resident Evil, I mean, we've all seen it for years. Like there's just so much stuff that comes out and you're like, it's a bit pricey. Like some of like the watches. I'm sorry. Nobody wears watches anymore. Don't make us pay $600. Because I even saw, what was it? City of the Wolves. They got the Mai and the Terry ones, and I'm like, let me see how. I'll probably want a Terry one. Let's see what I have. Nope.
I'm all for. My boss is actually currently obsessed with watches, and he's been buying a ton. And I'm all for a nice, a piece that brings an outfit together. But I'm like, an everyday watch, that is something that I haven't collected in my Resident Evil collection are the watches. I know they had done a collab with Super Groupies not too long ago and I did buy some of the bags for that collab, like the backpack one and stuff, but I didn't do the wallets or the watches.
Right.
But it was just one of those things where I'm like, which one will I practically wear or use? I also don't do the Zippos, which I know a lot of people do, and I understand they're kind of iconic in the Resident Evil universe.
Yeah.
And I respect that. It's just something that they're kind of, it's a Zippo. I understand that they're more expensive than lighters, but for its price point, it's just one of those things where it's like, or I could save and buy something different. And I like the
Yeah.
airsofts. I like to buy like the airsofts.
Ooh,
So
right. Yeah.
that's where I'm like, I could get a Zippo or I could get an airsoft. I'll get the airsoft.
Right.
So that's just
It's a
personal
better
preference.
choice. I mean, yeah, because
that-
I've got I got Barry's handgun from Revelations 2. That was like a 4 a.m. purchase, like not long after the game came out. It was like one of the Tokyo ones. So, you know,
those are the best.
Yep. Fuck. I actually remember. I gotta get JJ to ship me mine back because we were gonna be using that for Resurrection for Barry,
Oh,
for his
okay.
actor and everything. So they were like, "Yeah, Tony, can we use this?" And I'm like, "This thing is never to be dropped. No one's fucking with this thing. It is expensive now."
I have the Barry one, so I understand. Yep.
You get it. And I
Yep.
got what was it? I got Leon's gun from the remake.
Yes, I have that one as well. Yeah, I was able to get that one as well. The
Yeah.
Tokyo. Yeah.
JJ and I got that because we I had a friend who could help us, who had a friend in Japan that was like, yeah, like we'll get it here and we'll ship it to you and stuff like that. And it took a while to get here.
That's how I did it. I had someone that purchased it over there, like, because he had to actually go in a store and pre-order it. Like, like the onlines were gone, so he went in a store, he pre-ordered it, and then when it came in, he shipped it to me fairly quickly. But he had to do the disassembling it and putting the tape on the nozzle and stuff like that, and say this is a toy. Because he got me that one, and then he also got me so when I was in Japan, not this most recent time, like last month, like actually this month, but the one. Like right before COVID, actually, I went to Japan.
I didn't know that's when you went before.
Yes. I went in a store and I saw a Lightning Hawk, and I was like, oh my god, this looks fantastic. Like, it comes in a crate. It's so well done. Oh, it's beautiful. And I was like, man, I really want to buy it, but how am I going to get back to the States? Like, how does that work? I didn't know, like, the laws, the requirements, the rules, like, how could it go in a check bag? Can it not? Like, does it have to, like, I didn't know all the rules. So I was like, better I not buy it. And then there's a problem, I can't get it in, you have to discard it or something, or they take it and confiscate it, and I get a fine. So I ended up regretting that after I got home and contacted the same person who got me Leon's, and I was like, hey, I really want this, can you get it for me? And sure enough, he did. So probably a month later, he shipped it to me, and I was just like, yeah. Thank you.
Thank you. I wish I got more of those as the years went on, like, because like they those guns go up in price, man.
Almost instantly. Yeah, I think because the popularity too on a lot of them has gone up.
That's true.
Some of them you can still find at a decent price. Like I have the gold Lugers, and those aren't too bad. Those you can usually find those at a pretty good price. The thing that really kind of like I really wanted is there's the crest for them to get mounted in.
Yes.
And that finding that can be a little difficult, though I did see one on eBay recently. But yeah, I know it actually wasn't a bad price for what it is. The relief I think was around like $450 or something like that dollars, which it's just styrofoam, but it's perfect. It's 1-for-1 from Code Veronica.
Yeah, it's like legit that one from the door.
And it's made to hold those Lugers. Like there's magnets in it. They fit perfectly. The magnets are where the metal is on the Lugers, because that's how mine is. It's like mine is up on the wall, and then my gold Lugers are in it. So like it's.
Well, actually,
it looks good. That's my one. I get those.
I mean, yeah, you have to. I mean, dude, like you're no stranger to dropping some money on something you really love. I mean, like. What did you just buy recently when I saw that photo? Like, I lost my mind. I was like, she actually did it. When you were in Japan.
Oh, yes.
Yes.
So my holy grail, plural, has been the limited edition Dreamcast that came out. There's a Stars version and there's a Code Veronica version. And I have been hunting those with friends' assistance for years, trying to find one in person. Of course, they're numbered, they're limited. I think Code Veronica is 1,800 and the Stars one I think is 350. I'm not 100% on the number on the Stars. It might be 500, but they're limited, obviously.
Yeah.
And I've always wanted them. They've just kind of been, it's just been that thing that I'm like, I never had a Dreamcast originally. I played Code Veronica on Dreamcast, but I would go to my neighbor's house and I bought the Code Veronica game and I went over to his house and would play it at his house on his Dreamcast, which is fine. It's one of those neighborhood kids things where like, even when he's not home, his parents let you in the house kind of thing.
Yeah.
So it's it was very much okay to do that. It wasn't like me encroaching on his space or anything, but it just was one of those, like, it fulfilled not only the fact that I never owned a Dreamcast, but I get one that was so iconic. And yeah, when I was in Japan, I was in Mandarake buying you copies of DOA, checking out, and Adrian was there, and we had walked all the shelves, and I'm like, oh, they don't have it, you know, it's another bust, whatever. And then Adrian's like, well, let me ask. So he shows a picture of both of them on his phone to the gentleman who was pricing some games. And he's like, oh, yes. And I was just like, oh, he's just showing them a Dreamcast. We saw the Dreamcast. They've got Dreamcasts. I don't want a Dreamcast. I can buy those anywhere. I want these two specific Dreamcasts, one of the two. And so I check out, and I'm the lady, we finish our transaction, and she bags it up and everything. And then I'm like, okay, Adrian's still in the back. Let me go back there. And I just kind of walk down the aisle, and like literally halfway down the aisle, I see the box, and the guy's like holding it. And it's like, I can see Code Veronica. And I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? I was like, I want it. And I was just like, I want it. I was like, wait. How much is it? I want it. So, and then, yeah, they brought it up and like open it up and like we check all the components. It looks brand new. I put it up on display. I have number 375
Wow.
of 1800. It was a good round number. I honestly, I'm not number hunting. That's an impossible charade at that point. I'm just happy to have one, and having one of those, like, again, fulfilled so much, just the Dreamcast aspect, and just because it is, you know, I think everyone, when they collect something, there's like a character they love, or there's a certain thing they love, and having that like one aspect in their collection just brings them so much joy. That's my one I've been looking for years, and I'm happy to say I have one, and I'm happy with this one. If the Stars one comes into my life at some point, I will probably buy that one too. But for now, I'm very content with just having that one and having one of them to fulfill that. I guess it's not a need, it's a want, but it's a want so hard that it became a need.
Yeah, you said it's your holy grail. That's what.
Yeah,
it
was my Resident Evil holy grail. Yes.
I mean, that's kind of how it is for me. If you're talking game wise, I literally have a complete in box Resident Evil Gaiden, the American version.
Oh, okay, in box, nice.
Yep, that thing was being sold for like, I think it was like, what was it, like $980 or something at a convention. And I was talking to the guy. I showed him my room. I showed him the channel, you know, I showed him what I'm about.
You're legit, you're a fan, you're not a reseller.
I was like, I'm not going to be selling this. This is going to go in my room and everything. And I remember I messaged JJ, I took a photo of it. And I was like, dude, give me the credit card. He's like, what? I was like, dude, you can write this off. He's like, Tony, I don't think you know what writing off is. I was like, but they do. And you write it off. And he's like, is that from Seinfeld? I was like, doesn't matter. And I'm like, just give me the road credit card number. And he's like, dude, I mean, it's great, but I don't think we can spend the money on that. And I was like, fine, I'll do it myself. And I had actually sold some like games that like I had doubles of and everything. And with the money that I made from photography that weekend, that game only cost me like $300 or something.
Nice.
So because I like one of the groups that I had shot paid for a decent amount of it, and the games I traded in. I kicked myself because one of them was Twilight Princess for the the GameCube, but it was an extra copy.
Oh yeah, then yeah.
So it was okay. But when I was just holding that, and I remember I took a picture, I sent it to the group and everything, and they were like, "Dude, this is great. We're gonna put this in the Rose Studio, right?" And I was like, "Fuck you, we ain't putting this in here.
You had your chance.
Yeah, you could have owned greatness and everything. I just dropped all this money on it. I ain't doing it, man." So like that became like, that's like literally my holy grail. Is because I do technically have the game, because years ago when Play and Trade was still around, that's the company that me and my buddies essentially, like, well, not essentially worked for. We worked for it, but I felt like we owned the store because we were always there. But I remember just coming in on my day, like I was done at the restaurant and I came in and my buddy Joe was working. He's like, yeah, dude, check out what we got over here in the case. And I was like, shit, is that Resident Evil Gaiden? And he's like, yeah. I was like, what are we selling it for? And he's like, $3. And I was like, I'll buy it. Yeah, this is like 2010. So it was like, different time. But you want that game now by itself, it's like $200.
Yeah.
And the game sucks.
Like, it's terrible.
Like I show that people like, you spent over $900 on a shitty ass game. I was like, no, trust me, I would, if I had the money, I would not have spent the full amount on that game alone. Because I've played it, believe me, but there's problems. I mean, the idea and a lot of the stuff in the game is fun, but it is really tough.
Yeah, Yeah.
I don't know, like I know a lot of people probably don't play that because they don't even know it exists, but it is, if you play it, it's very interesting.
I have played it. I got gifted it actually, and I still have the copy that was a gift.
Really?
Yep. It was. I was in high school, middle school or high school. My high school and middle school were one and the same, so because of the years, it is blurred. But it was like one of my. It was my best friend at the time. Like we were inseparable. Like we were very close. We kind of grew apart a little bit, but it became more because he was male, and it was like we were dating for a little while because it was like do we need to date? Is it that we're only, are we? So he was like my first like relationship, and he's an amazing guy. I still talk to him. Like I see him actually at conventions every now and then. Like Grant is amazing. And he actually was like, hey, you like Resident Evil? He worked at GameStop, and someone had traded one in. So he's like, oh, they traded this in, so I bought it for you, and he gave it to me. So because it was an open, like a used copy, I was like, well, I'm gonna fucking play it. And I didn't know anything about it at the time, and I was just like, oh, this is not Resident Evil. this is, I mean, it is what it is, and I still have that copy is the one that's still in my collection.
Nice.
He actually gave me a copy of one of like a Mercenaries or something too, and I still have it sealed, and I still have that one sealed.
Really?
From him. Mm-hmm.
Did you ever get like a non-sealed version to try?
Yeah, because he gave me one, but I had actually already bought it. So mine was already opened, and because I worked at Blockbuster at that time.
Oh, God.
So like any games that came in, like I could just pre-order through the system.
Yep.
So I just would buy them that way, or we'd see them in our ads, and we got pre-order bonuses. And like I still have the RE5 like Blockbuster exclusive pre-order frame with like it just says RE5 and has Chris and Sheva in the official art, but it's
still
like
awesome though.
if you bought it at Blockbuster, you got the frame. So but yeah, no, I had one, I had opened it, I had played it, and then when he gave me another one, I didn't want to be rude, and I was like, at that time I was actually collecting Resident Evil games, just not merchandise so much.
Yeah,
I had a few pieces, and I still have those pieces, like the little ones we were talking about with like Chris with the snake and everything like that. Like I still had those, and I only had one Nemesis figure. I had the Palisades Nemesis.
Yep.
But I let a friend borrow it because she was interested in it, and she was an amazing artist, so talented. And she's like, I really want to draw him. And then I never got it back from her. So I ended up, he's replaced now. I've got a new one now. But I think I had very little merch, but I collected the games. So I was like, you know what? He gave me one. I'm going to keep it. I'll keep it sealed.
Hell yeah. Actually, speaking of Mercenaries, we didn't talk about this. Did you enjoy playing Operation Mad Jackal from RE3?
So I did, but not. I'll be honest. When it comes to the Mercenaries modes, I was addicted to RE5 Mercenaries.
Yep.
Oh my god. I still have screenshots of like the versus mode and stuff like that where I was top 3 in the world on Village because of the amount I would play and the scores. Like I mean, I was playing it actually. I was streaming with a Capcom creator, Lady Umbrella. Like she's a beautiful cosplayer. We were streaming Resident Evil 5 not too long ago, and I'm still like how do you reload? I can only menu reload. Like it's just engraved in my head for the speed that it's like, reloading all the weapons in the menu and stuff like that. And I'm like, I feel like so cheesy. It's just like, so I did enjoy 3, but I feel like my like nostalgia goggles have kind of like 3 was good for its time. It was enjoyable. It's very difficult.
Yes.
Very difficult. But because I enjoyed 5 so much, and I played a lot of the 4 or the stuff that they gave us for it, that I'm like, I just love 5 so much that it made it hard to kind of go back and play any of the
I think 5, it's because there's co-op to it. There's more options to do combos, and like you can, like characters have team up moves as well. So I mean I still play 5s constantly.
Yeah.
I mean I do love RE6s because of the insanity that happens, but I loved like when they brought the 360 and PS3 versions of 5 over to PS4, and they added the No Mercy mode that the PC had.
Yes.
I mean, I wish there was a co-op No Mercy mode. Maybe there is, like, maybe there's a mod for it or something for PC. I actually should check that out.
I could see there being a mod for sure.
There has to be.
Someone has to have worked on that.
Yeah, because, like, I mean, look, I love playing the Mercenaries with somebody in RE5, but if you're not playing Mercenaries United, you're kind of looking for enemies half the time. You kill them.
And that was part of it, is you kind of learn the spawn like patterns, so
That's
you know
right.
like where to go. Like, okay, like that's why I was like third on village specifically, because it's one of those, like, I know, okay, over here on the left side where the big guys can spawn, once I've killed all those, I can go straight down, and then over here they're spawning.
Yep.
And then once I'm done there, I can cross over, and those enemies are already making their way over. So it was very much like you just repetitive play, and you kind of learn their spawn patterns. It obviously they still change up as far as like what enemies can spawn, but at least you know the areas to expect them after you've cleared a section.
That, and, you know, making sure you kill the chickens too.
Oh, arise, chicken, arise! Yeah, always gotta kill the chickens.
I hate how, like, you try to and they would jump at you.
I kill every bird in Resident Evil. Like, it's funny if you watch any of my streams. Like, I like Resident Evil 5 even when the birds are around, or even Resident Evil 4. Like, I'm throwing flashbangs because those crows gotta go.
Yep. And it's just like, I don't think they were infected. Who cares? They need to die.
Listen, okay, they're holding money hostage. I need it all. Okay, I have way more money than I can spend, but I need it. Okay, I need that spinel.
That merchant ain't cheap, man. Inflation.
No. Right? You gotta impress Ashley, okay? She's the president's daughter, don't you know?
Yeah, you gotta look good in front of the boss's daughter.
Yeah.
So, like, we'll get ready to end this soon and everything. But there is one other thing I want to talk about. Did you ever read the S.D. Perry novels, especially like the novelization of RE3?
Yes, I have.
Yeah. How did you feel about that one? I think that's my second favorite next to the original.
Agreed. I really like that we got so much backstory with Jill as far as like her family, why she wanted to be a cop, the stuff with her dad. Like, there's so much just character development there that, again, just kind of going back to what we talked about earlier in the stream, the world building. Like, it just, whether or not you want to accept it as canon, I feel like even with all the changes and the evolution of the series and the remakes and how Jill is now from the movies, all that core stuff that was built in those books, I still think could work canonically as an origin for her and her character. I absolutely, I'm just always like, again, give me more Capcom, like give me more content, more about these characters, this world, these stories, even the side characters. So for that book to, you know, they put so much, you can tell there's just love for the characters in there and wanting to keep them genuine to how they act in the games at that time, games when they came out. So it's like there's respect, there's still a little bit of deviation, which again, original, you know, it's fine. I'm well okay with that. It's like a Batman, you know, the movies don't have to be perfect, every comic's different, every movie can be different. I accept that within the realm of the books versus games. But at least there's respect for the source material.
I was gonna say, they never outright disrespect the characters, really.
No,
in any way,
absolutely not. I think every character, you know, and I think that's where a lot of the fans, when it comes to like the Resident Evil movies, live action, kind of find some distaste, is because it doesn't feel like there's, you know, respect to the core character. I can attest, like, I've watched that Resident Evil 2 movie once because, yes, Nemesis looks great. I will not argue that. But he says stars once, and motherfucker cried.
Yeah, Nemesis got feels, yo.
No, absolutely no. So, and the first movie, I'll tell you what, I went to that theater, and when they said, and I heard it, when they said put him in the Nemesis project, I screamed.
Yes.
Screamed. I was so excited. I didn't even care at that point that they were taking the origin of Nemesis in a different direction. I feel like the first movie did the best that it could with what they were given permission to do and use. And you know what? I don't have much grief with the first Resident Evil movies. I mean, the prosthetics on the dogs.
Oh my God, because it was real. Yeah.
Yeah. Looked amazing. Like, I feel like there was a lot of respect for what could be done. It wasn't until some of the later films that you kind of he kind of lost me. And honestly, I kind of fell off the wagon after Nemesis cried, but a little bit of bias because I loved him so much. I was like, what is this?
I mean,
he would never.
It could have worked, but it also didn't, because again, it's just a character that doesn't have that. But
yeah,
because I remember that moment. I remember I was watching that movie. Wow. I didn't get to see it in theaters. I saw the second one in theaters, but I didn't get to see the first one in theaters. But I remember me and my buddy Josh were at his house watching it. I think our buddies Alex and Joey were with us too. And when that Nemesis line came, I just remember looking over to Josh and I'm like, dude, like, it was like me and Josh, we, out of all the Resident Evil games we played in the early years, he and I played 3 the most. Yeah. And we both love that one the most. I think 3 is his favorite. And we just that moment was so cool. And then you actually get to see him, and then
he looks great. Absolutely,
he looks great.
When he first comes out, the first scene, and he's got his Gatling gun, and is coming up and just like unloads with those Stars member in there, but then says Stars, cocks head to side. What? But there might have been. Honestly, I've seen the movie once. That was a one and done for me for that one.
I mean, I'll say this: Sienna Gilroy. I think everybody's also in agreement. She was the best part of that as Jill.
Oh,
I mean,
yes.
I think it sucks that everything she tried to do, Alice had to one up her, but she fit that character.
Sorry, what was her name? It's Alice, right? She has to say that a couple dozen times for us to get it.
Yeah.
Alice? Okay.
Yeah, it's like, okay, we know who you are.
My name is Alice. Oh, you don't say.
It's like, you get hit in the head or something like that. You've said this in the last 5 minutes like 5 times. I don't know. I remember just hearing that Jill was going to be in it, and I was like, oh, good, they're finally putting characters from the game into it. And
her scene is great. Her walk-in is great. When she walks into the police station, all business.
Dude, she literally walks like Jill. I've seen the interview. She actually studied the game. She watched, and I was just like, that is how it's done. None of this bullshit in Hollywood where it's like, nobody can watch any of the characters. Nobody's going to watch the characters. We're going at this direction.
Yeah.
Let them watch it so they at least get an understanding. Because if you're still going to make the character like they are in the game, then it doesn't hurt to let the actors, because actors can differentiate and they can know what works and what doesn't. And
I think so.
That's like, and so I think she was so great in it. And, then she wasn't brought in for the third movie because she was working on Aragorn at the time, I think.
Yes.
Was it?
There was another movie. I knew she was offset on another movie. Yeah. But then she came back for the next one.
Yeah. Was it? No, not Afterlife.
You got me there. The names, they're all, I refer to them as like 1, 2, 3, 4. Like
the third one was the desert. The fourth one was with the ship. The ship in the prison. That's where she showed up at the end when she was controlled. Then she was in the next movie, and everything. And then she was not in the final movie for whatever fucking reason. Which, to be fair, it was probably best that she didn't like destroy herself going and doing that movie, because I saw that movie and it was not that was literally the worst out of all of them, that final movie, because every time a character made a movement, the camera angle would change. And I don't get sick from that stuff, but my God, they did it every single time. And I was just like, I can't do this. Like, you literally don't even follow your own character's lore, your story anymore. I mean, say what you want. Resident Evil, for the most part, like in game form, still follows the characters pretty well, especially like in CGI films and how they are and everything.
I think so. I know some people will say like, oh, they changed this character, and it's like, well, like, I know there was a lot of grief at first when Leon was drinking, and it's like, that's actually part of his character. In the original RE2, he missed his first day because he was drunk and had a hangover, like in the morning, because he broke up with his girlfriend. Like, there were certain aspects which I know has been rewritten now, but at that time, the canonic story of like Leon, that's not out of character for him to, and he also is probably going through a lot of PTSD, so I don't, or like Chris grieving through Pierre's and stuff like that. Like, I don't feel like these types of reactions were out of character, and if they are quote unquote out of character, they're not out of the realm of a human response.
Exactly.
Like, you see what I'm saying? So it's kind of, I see where people come from, where there's some deviation, but it's like, you look at Rebecca and the CG movies and stuff, and I feel like the Rebecca we saw in RE1 is the same exact Rebecca type personality we're seeing in these newer CG movies.
I agree 100%, because all these characters, like, because that's the one thing Resident Evil up until I feel 5 didn't really do, was really touch upon what these characters went through through their things. I mean, Claire was
because you kind of get the jump, and that's about it.
yeah, and then 5 happens, and they just took it to a Hollywood level, but in all the right ways. Like, you see, like, Chris is kind of a dick. And like I remember that one, because like he's just so angry about stuff, and he's got every right to be angry. And I remember like when Chev was talking about, it's like, you know, when that team got wiped out, she's like, if we had here, maybe we would have helped. Maybe we could have made a difference. And he's like, if we were here,
we'd be dead too.
And just like, you know.
And you see the look on Sheva's face is like, what?
Yeah.
I mean, you're not wrong, but what?
Yeah, so
it's like Chris has seen some things.
He has. I mean, like watching Jill jump out a friggin' window to save him. Everything, and you know, him having to bulk up because, you know, he was powerless to, like, I mean, literally Wesker puts you in the Vulcan death grip on your knees and you're punching him in the junk and it doesn't do anything to him. So it's like, yeah, of course. I mean, it's even a quote I think in the original Marvel vs. Capcom 3 where he's like my body? Yeah, of course I'd have to go to the gym every day. I fight superhumans and bioweapons. Of course, I'd be crazy not to go to the gym. And I was like, that beat the whole steroid allegation right there. But, you know, I felt that, I mean, like, Jill, like, she, like, you know, especially when you find out that that's her under the bird mask, she saw everything. And Patricia Jai Lee did a fucking amazing job voicing her and doing the motion capture in that. She did amazing. And, like, then that, you know, ends up playing off. I know a lot of people don't like Death Island, and I get why. It is kind of a mess of a movie, but it still showed you where. I
enjoyed it. I thought it was fun.
I thought it was fun too. I mean, I know a lot of people. I mean, I see where people are saying.
I see the complaints. I see them.
Yeah. I see the complaints. I see like how people are like, yeah, it's just another basic like terrorist story. I was like, yeah, I get it, but you know what? We're getting all these characters we wished for together finally, and they work off one another pretty well. I mean, Claire and Rebecca, like, you know, doing their, like, you know, Aerith Tifa high five to one another or whatever it was in the control room, and
I'll take it every day. Eat it up.
Yeah, they had their little Avenger moment and stuff, and Jill had her own personal demons. Like I don't think, because people were complaining about that and like that she still looks the same. I was like, dude,
that scene with her and Chris when he's like literally being so real with her talking about Pierre's.
Yep.
That is so good. Best scene in the show for me as a fangirl of Resident Evil, and the characters, like, it was so real and just cut, like, because she's like, I'm dealing with shit, and it's like, well, you don't know what I've dealt with, and he starts actually opening up and talking about Pierre's. It's so good.
Because that's the only time they've acknowledged Pierce since Rev 2. Because Rev 2 was that ending that when you get the true ending of the game, Claire's, you know, finding out about Chris over like in Eastern Europe or China or whatever it was, and she's like, all right, we'll have Piers look after him and stuff. So it's like, okay, perfect, right there.
Oh, and now in the anniversary artwork, he's wearing a scarf that looks oddly similar to Piers, which I think is very moving, and I really, forgive me, I forget the artist's name. I know they credited it on Twitter, or X. I forget their name. I'm so bad about names.
Same.
But that artist did an amazing job on representation of all those characters.
All those characters, like that art was amazing. Cause I had asked you, wait, it's like that Piers' scarf, and you were like, yeah, it is. I was like, holy shit. Like, it
is.
It's just because, like, I think Capcom, maybe the artist is a fan himself, and maybe, maybe he realizes, shit, you know, maybe Capcom should have done more with this character and killing him off. So, yeah, I just think they did a really good thing, and you know, Jill just going through that PTSD, which again we saw that in the remake, which I thought was phenomenal that she had that. I kind of wish they had more scenes. Like, I remember talking about this when they first showed that scene in like the trailer of her like becoming a zombie. Yeah, I told people, I was like, dude, this is a direct reference to S.T. Perry, and people were like, what are you talking about? I was like, dude, she has nightmares of being chased by the fucking tyrant in the mansion, and she has like of the birds and stuff. Like, I guarantee you, we're gonna get some flashbacks or something. And my dream that I wanted for Jill in the remake for her PTSD, since they were gonna be going that route, I wanted, when she first sees the Nemesis coming at her, I want her memory to start like how, you know, like how Cloud in Final Fantasy like has like that, like kind of like the meltdown, like the high frequency noise and like the glitching of characters. I wanted the Nemesis to glitch out as the original tyrant for a few seconds. It would just swap back between the tyrant, the original tyrant, and Nemesis as it's getting closer. And because I thought that would have been great if they had done that, like a nice homage to the original tyrant.
I think it would have been a good homage, but I think with the way everything is with Nemesis, it's like she doesn't have the time to even focus. Like, you know, she's just got to action. She has to suppress all of that. And like from the moment he comes through that wall, it's just, you know, go girl. Like you've got to move. Like there's no time for her to really even process him, let alone anything else she's dealt with. I think there's times, I think there could have been times, maybe not that initial one, but times later where he's coming at her where that could have been done, where it's like, oh my God, because it's more of like not in the moment. It's more the like the walking in a paced, but like that in that moment, I feel like it was so action packed that it's like literally he's coming through. She's getting off the phone. He's telling him like, be fucking prepared. Like, here he is. Like she has no time to even focus on the past or just literally the present, the monster that's in front of her and going through ceilings, you know. Oh God, I love that. I love the Raccoon City part of the remake. I really enjoy that whole beginning. I fangirled so hard that first time. I probably could find a clip of me when I was streaming it of me getting giddy when you go in the toy store and Nemesis is just standing outside the window.
He's just like that angry. He's just like that angry parent that's waiting for the kid to get the toy and get out of the store.
Yeah, pick your toy, girl. Let's go. Let's go. Get your bobblehead and get out.
I was laughing so hard when I turned around and saw that. I thought that was so great. He's just standing there menacingly. Like,
yeah, literally. Which I get. A lot of people are like, well, why doesn't he just go in after you? And I'm like, you have to understand, it's adding to that character, that level of element, that story building. Like it's almost like an homage to the original one. That there's certain rooms that Nemesis just doesn't follow you into. And I just appreciated it that they, instead of having him, you know, tentacle up a building and disappear and come back down when you leave, he waits for you patiently outside.
Yeah.
So you're not safe. So you think you're safe. He's not in the building with you. But as soon as you go out that door, you have this, you know, tiny little path you got to get through, and he's going to be right there waiting for you.
Yep.
So,
and that's what it was. He was just there waiting, and it was great. I just, like I said, like they did such a great job with that in the remake with the city. I mean, again, going back to the S.D. Perry novel, like one of the greatest things I liked about it was the fact that Jill was in that city for a reason, even though it kind of contradicted, I think it was Resident Evil 2, City of the Dead. They had her, Chris, and Barry packing up a truck and getting out of Raccoon City. Because I don't think S.D. Perry had like read ahead with the game. She was going by game and stuff like that. I think we've tried to get her on like a podcast or something. I'm not sure she's legally allowed to talk about the game or the books or the process of it, I think. But I remember that happened. So then when 3 happened, I was like, oh, she must have just went back to the city at one point or something. But I love the fact that she was helping survivors. They built up like a school, and then she was getting ready to like go back at one point, and she gets there and just bodies all out front. Zombies, there's corpses of people being eaten. And she's like, someone must have seen their child out there or someone they knew and went out, and the barricades all broke. Like, dude, I was like, man, that is crazy ass shit. Like she really wrote a good horror novel in that.
Honestly, yes. They're all good. I enjoyed all of them. I think 3 is probably my favorite, but again, biased because it's my favorite game.
I don't know. I think I like the first one more because I just love the fact that Jill got, you know, like they took the story of Chris and Billy, like that his buddy that worked for Umbrella that went missing in it. They took that, you know, they showed like the Stars characters interacting with one another. The fact that Jill has a personal stake in what's going on because those 2 little girls that she helped, I think it was like she found their cat or something, and like they were like some of the first victims of the zombies. Like I was like, this is how you fucking do this. And it's like if they literally were just to make a either live action TV series and follow that book, or I say make an anime and get the people who did Hellsing Ultimate to make it.
Yeah.
That, I mean, because you've seen Hellsing Ultimate, you know how violent
the ghouls in that are great. Yeah.
And I feel like keeping it like that would also not be like a Demon Slayer problem where it's just like, oh, it's our animation takes so long. You're not going to get this movie for another 5 years or whatever. So it's like, You know,
I get it. Animation takes a while though, and
does.
I'm willing to wait when it comes to good quality content. Like that's okay, but I think animating those books would do well. They would correlate over well. I agree.
Because every book would just be a season. You spend the first 2 episodes getting to know the characters a little bit and everything and what they're about. You know, Chris mentions Claire, all this kind of stuff, things that you set up for the future you can world build without rejecting the main story you're trying to tell at that moment. And I think that's something that they could do because there's just so much to it.
Yeah.
And I really would love to see that. I know it's never going to happen because we're just going to keep giving the IP to people who say they're huge fans and then nothing happens. So
yeah, we'll see. I'm gonna hold faith for this newest adaptation. I understand it's original characters, but I'm gonna hold my faith like I do every year or every time this comes along. I'll try. The only one I gave up on. I don't have a lot of triggers when it comes to things I won't watch, but the Resident Evil TV show that came out on Netflix. I was told. I watched the first episode, and, I was like, you know what? I gotta keep going. I gotta, gotta give it my best. I usually give things 3 to 5 episodes if they can't from there. But then I had my really good friend Ari called me, and actually episode 2 has one of the few triggers that I have where I won't watch something ever again, or I won't watch it. So she warned me, and I have not watched a single episode or anything else for the Resident Evil Netflix one since then. So it's just kind of like,
what was it?
I don't do animal cruelty in the sense where it's a plot device.
Yep.
In the sense of it's like if a character is supposed to, like if someone is cruel to like a cat or something to just prove that they're evil.
Yeah.
That I don't vibe it, and they show it. I don't vibe with that at all.
Yeah, I remember
like
that.
Horror movies, yeah, that show any type of like I don't do Stranger Things because of Muse. The second season they showed like the monster kills the cat and then they show it and like stuff like that.
Oh, that's right. That part. Yep. I should have seen that coming to my way when that happened back then. And I
quit Stranger Things at that because I was like, nope, I can't. Those are my things where I'm like, that's where I draw the line with horror, because at that point it's like there's others too. I have others. It's not like just that one.
Yeah.
But it's like you can't. There's certain things that I don't believe you should use as a plot device for character development. Animal cruelty in that capacity, and showing it, I don't think it's no different than if like Michael Myers had killed a baby and they showed him killing a baby. Like there's certain things that it's like you can infer it, but we don't need to see it. Like that's where
yeah.
I don't know exactly what happened in the second season, like I said, or the second episode, but I know it was enough that my friend was very much like, you can't, like, don't. So
trust me, you saved yourself time, because I remember JJ forced all of us to watch it. He's like, yeah, we're gonna do a big road group discussion, we'll all talk about this, and like we'll give criticism, we'll give constructive criticism. And I was like, motherfucker, I swear to God, we all better watch and suffer together. And they're like, no, we're gonna do this. And I remember it was like a 7-hour train ride down to Philadelphia. I was going to a convention, so I watched it all in its entirety on my phone. And I don't drink and never have, but dear God, this is one of the few times where like I need a fucking drink. Like it just kept getting worse and worse. And the guy playing Wesker, Lance, like rest his soul, he gave everything he had for that role.
Even the interviews afterwards, he talked about like he actually respected the character. So I regret not seeing his role in that.
Well, I mean, he respected it, and he respected the character. A lot of people made fun of him during like one scene, but like it was a badass scene. He was great. Like he really, I have a lot, and he's a gamer too. So that's why I even have more respect for him. He's not some bullshit or anything. He's a legit gamer. So or was, I should say. But like he was the best part that made it. Well, not worth sitting through, but it was just, at least when you were there, he was like, okay, good times. But yeah, no, it just like I finished it. I got back from the convention, talking with the team, and like a week goes by, and they're just like, oh yeah, we're not gonna do it anymore. I just don't have time to watch. I watched the first like 2-3 episodes. I'm like, you mother,
he set you up.
I was like, I sat through 7 hours of that on the train ride. You owe me a train ticket. Like, I was so mad at him. I was like, I hate you so much, dude. You son of a bitch. And he never finished it. But I remember when I tried to do constructive criticism on the show, I was harsh on it. But like, I remember the the special effects artist commented it, and he got pissed at me. I was like, look, bro, I'm sorry, you gotta understand, whoever's running the show is just using an IP, and they're creating something that people don't want. You know, I'm not saying anything about your work or this or that or then some, but this is just how it was. And you know, he messaged some other like Resident Evil fans that I know, and they were like, oh yeah, like, did you like this part here? Like, I had a hand in making the creatures for this and doing this. And they're like, it wasn't that great. And he got mad at them too. And they're like, no, look, it's not your fault. It's just, it's not what we fans wanted. And then like he and a lot of the other people kind of just went on a tirade against fans and stuff. And it was just like, guys, it happens. You got to understand, you're taking a legacy. And at the time, I think that was like, you know, the series was just like shy of like 26 years old at that point. It's, you know, people just don't.
Sure, yeah. It's not on him. He probably did exactly what the studio and corporate wanted done.
Yeah.
It's just what the wants of, you know, the corporate is not always what the fans want. And I get it. They're trying to make it so it's relatable to a mass amount of people who are fans and not fans. So they try to make it more relatable or updated and stuff like that for people who may not be as, you know, savvy with the series and the source material, which I never mind that. We expect that as fans of video games when we get movie adaptations. But I still think that, again, going back to the, like with the books, you have to have that certain respect for the characters in the source material, even if they're whole new characters, whole new universe, or they're characters that exist within the universe. As long as you keep them like to their character or doing things that were within the realm of that character, 100% can respect that. And I can just accept it as kind of like I said before, like the Batman. It's an alternate, you know, it's just a different universe, you know, it's a different world. But it's the same. It's still obviously Claire if Claire was Claire, you know, like if it was Claire, or Chris, you know, it's not them changed.
Yeah.
So
I mean, like I think all the characters, you know, have held up pretty well to who they're supposed to be, especially since like so many directors over the years have taken hold of these games and stuff. But like, you know, there's really never been a bad version of Jill, I think. You know, I mean, you can't really count the first game because, you know, 1996 was a different year.
I still enjoy that one.
I still like it.
I still enjoy that.
You know,
yeah,
I think they're all, I mean, I think one of the definitive ones too is honestly GameCube Jill.
Yes.
I think that is like, you know, she's just badass in that. I mean, she takes the gun from Barry, like, you know, quickly disarms him and stuff, and she ain't afraid to tell Wesker, you're a fucking dick. You know, like, I mean, she's got spunk to her.
And she's got jiggle mechanics.
Wait, she did. Oh my God, that's right, she does.
Yeah, she does.
I fucking forgot about that.
Yep.
Oh my God, that's. Oh, Jesus Christ.
To get off topic, but that was one thing that they added and I was not expecting, not mad about at all, especially when you have to like move the canister and you can only take so many steps and you have to stop. It's like, oh, the camera's just at all the right angles in those little like hallways.
Yeah, that made a lot of people happy.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I mean, oh geez, I mean, and now you're getting that in your what do you call it there?
Nikki, yeah.
Yep, you're getting that in there because I saw the trailers and I'm just like,
oh yeah,
I know why people are gonna be buying this now.
Yeah, especially RE5 Jill. We were talking about that outfit. Like I was like, wow, wow.
So actually, before we go, what is your? So we talked about your favorite from RE3, but what is your all-time favorite Jill outfit from across all the games and media, crossovers, like that Biohazard card game, that digital card game or whatever it was that came out like a decade ago? Characters were all chibi. Like, what's your favorite?
I would have to go with the RE1 remake, Star's uniform. Just the classic. She still has kind of the bigger shoulder pads, the beret. I feel like that outfit has now, with the lighter blue, sorry, it's like that iconic look. You can tell she's fit. You can tell she's a badass. It's not overly sexualized.
No.
It's not But you still can respect it's tailored. She's got those princess seams. It's everything about it. They put like there's definition. You can tell it's some sort of knit. Like there's overall, and I mean she's had good ones. Like I really like her battle suit as well for RE5. Like I think that was a good deviation, something different. Like it had a lot of textures, but I think overall, if I think about Jill, I think of that iconic outfit for the most part, or her RE3 tube top. I have to give it more to the RE1 remake version, just because it's more practical in the sense of what's happening, and it's classic stars. Like it's her in her uniform. I mean, who doesn't love a girl in a uniform? You know?
Because honestly, all the male characters essentially have the same stars vest, just a different color or like variation.
Yeah.
Jill and Rebecca have completely like well,
Jill's like Rebecca's in the medic uniform, so I'm like that one. She has like the medic vest on, but the base is very. I mean, other than being just like t-shirt and like the cargo pants is kind of like very different. I agree. It's not like. I guess, I mean, Wesker, I guess, is the only one with his little earpiece. That's a little bit different, but
true,
like, his little earpiece.
I guess like this one shocks a lot of people. What I choose for my favorite.
Yeah, I was gonna ask, which one's yours?
It's Lost in Nightmares, Jill.
Really?
Something about a girl rocking a baseball cap and everything. The fact that Jill's
it's
got
sporty. I like it.
Right, and the thing with this too, like. I also see it, like, it's like a zip-up jacket, but I still kind of see a lot of inspiration from the OG outfit, just minus the pads. So,
the color blocking on it, 100% agree.
So, I think that's why I liked it so much, was because they really went and paid homage to that. Whether they did or not intentionally, I don't know, but...
I think it was... I think it's intentional. You see a lot of that, even with Chris. I think it's intentional. I think it was.
I think they did such a great... and people are like, we always thought it'd be the original outfit from RE3, because, that's your favorite game, and, everybody loves that, because, boobs. And I was just like, nah, dude, like, I mean, that's my second... That is my second favorite.
I'm not going to complain about that one. But,
no, and I love... circle back to SD Perry. I love how they actually... how she describes why Jill's dressed like that. Jill's thinking in her head. You remember that?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's like, okay, well, I can't have anything restrict me, but I like, it's also, October almost or whatever it was. It's like I need the sweatshirt just in case I get on the road, but I can't have anything like getting caught or whatever. I was like, dude, that's actually...
You can let it go.
That's pretty brilliant, yeah. That's pretty brilliant the way that she wrote that, because like I feel like, Jill's just wearing what she's wearing because, maybe sex appeal. I don't know. I don't know what they were thinking. I wasn't there in 1999 for that, but
no, that one I don't know. I mean, I like that idea, and it's like, what do I have in my closet that will work and is practical? I'm obviously not a member of Star. Like, well, my badge is technically turned in at this time temporarily, so being in my uniform doesn't really make a lot of sense. That would be technically not allowed. Like, so I get that it had to be a change up, so it's like, what in my closet would work?
Yeah.
So it's like, and I mean, I think for its time, for 1999, like tube tops were pretty popular. Like the mini skirts, everyone had one of those for the club.
True.
Like, I feel like it was an outfit that's like, what do I have? Like, if I go and look in my closet in 1999 and I'm that age, what are likely going to be some of the garments? And what can I throw together? So the tube top is still a choice because, but it was more the fitted corseted style. So there's a little bit more structure. You can see on it where there's like boning.
Yep.
So it's not like one of those like real flimsy, like one grab from a zombie and, there it is. Like you're going to have to really grab those because of the boning to get it down. And I think that's where like the costumer side and like the fabricator side of me looks at it. And it's like, oh, it's not just like a cheapy t-shirt from like one of these rave stores, it's something structured, so it's gonna have body to it. Like there's girth, like it's gonna take a lot to kind of pull that. So I get it. Now it's gonna hurt her back having to stand up with the posture. All right, I'd give her that one, but she probably has that already from all the weapon, all the armor and stuff, from her shoulder pads and stuff, and all her gun holsters. So.
That'll do it.
Yeah.
Actually, there's another outfit that I really love too, because it is, and I don't know if you probably remember this, but you remember like when this is probably like a decade ago now or something, but they had like those Capcom crossover stuff with Onimusha, and Jill had that really cool blue kimono. I have been dying for years. I've only seen, I think, 2 cosplayers ever do that. And it was like,
Anne's done it. Miss Valentine's done it.
What? She did?
Oh, actually, yeah. Hang on. I will give me like 10 seconds.
Oh wait, what? That's crazy. Maybe she was one of the ones I saw. Maybe.
Okay, I have a waifu wall, and she's
she
on
was
my
one of them.
waifu wall in that outfit, and because I did photos for her in that outfit.
That was her.
Probably
Oh
my
God.
favorite. It's probably one of my favorite costumes she's ever done, because she did like everything, all the little details. She has like the stars patch on her. That's been one of my favorite. I agree. I actually forgot about that one, because I'll be honest, whenever I think of that Onimusha like collab, they also did Tronbon.
Yep.
And I love the Tronbon outfit, and that's been on my like dream list of stuff to like one day make. And so like I always forget that there's Resident Evil characters, because Ada I think had a crossover outfit too.
Ada did, yeah. Hers was really good too. Claire's was like nothing. Like,
oh, I don't remember Claire's.
No,
Probably because it's a non.
It's literally her RE2 outfit essentially.
Oh.
Like, hold on, let me look it up. But I remember Resident Evil 2 Claire Onimusha. I can't remember like even what that thing was for, but like,
it was a mobile game, I think.
oh, that's what it was. Okay, yeah, here it is. Yeah. Like, she doesn't really have anything.
Oh,
like,
yeah. I see.
Wait, did you pull it up?
Yeah, I pulled it up too.
Yeah, it's
She's
like
got like some flower details.
Yeah, but it's essentially, and her cowboy boots, but it's essentially just the same outfit she already has from. This is like her Dark Side Chronicles look.
Yeah.
Which is an amazing look for her. Like, people like, that is such a good one. But yeah, like, she's just got like flintlock guns and stuff, and that's it. Like, she didn't get like what Ada and Jill got and everything.
No, hers is much more downplayed, but that's okay. I can't go. Yeah, at least they included her. I'll give them that. At least they included her.
I actually just looked up the Tron one. Yeah, like that.
Yeah, they have like different versions. It's like 3, like they can level up and get more like detailed as like you level up in the game or whatnot. I know it had a browser one that I played for a little bit, but then I don't think it exists anymore. And it's one of those things like, so.
Onimusha Soul, that's what it was called.
Yeah.
That's what it was. God, like, we never got like cool shit. All that stuff, like, we never get.
No.
So, all right, I think we'll call it there. We again, like, I knew this episode was gonna run long because you and I just love this character. We love this game.
I love chatting about Resident Evil.
Hell yeah,
I love it.
So, all right, well, we'll call it here. As you know, thank you for taking time out of your day to do this, dude. I greatly appreciate it.
No, thank you for inviting me to talk Resident Evil with you, especially 3. Like I said, this was a pleasure to just be able to kind of chat and let me rant about the things that I love and that I know, is listened to by someone else that has that same level of appreciation. Because I think that's what it comes down to, is I am crazy about things, but I don't want someone to be like, yo, she's just a little too crazy, which maybe I am. But I don't want to talk to somebody who that's their opinion. So thank you.
We're all a little crazy in this space and everything. So, but yeah, if you guys want to follow her and everything like that, I will have everything down below. All the links to her Twitch, her Instagram, Twitter, all that good stuff. So you guys can follow and support her work. Again, Dee makes virtually every outfit she does, and every outfit is friggin' out of this fucking world, dude.
Thank you.
Dude, seriously, if I lived closer, we'd probably be doing photo shoots almost every weekend.
Oh my god, yes we would. I literally have 3 costumes that have been done, and I'm like, I need to shoot these, but I want, you can self-shoot some things, but it's like when you work really hard on something and you want that professional, you want someone that's behind the camera, knows what they're doing, that does a good job. It's like, yeah, if you were close, sir, there'd be trouble. You'd be at my house all the time. We play video games, play Resident Evil.
Wait, no, seriously, I totally would. Me and it's the same thing with my friend Laura. I think you probably follow her, Spooky Ducky.
Yep.
It's the same thing. Me and our friend Sam and her, almost every weekend, we're doing some crazy shoot. Whether it's Resident Evil or fucking, what else? We just shot her Shadowheart recently, like
Oh,
the white
okay,
dress.
yeah.
Yeah, like white dress, the long spear and shit, had everything, and I think we're doing even more. Oh, we're trying to do Crow Country, the main character.
Oh, okay, yeah,
Because-
okay,
Because there's gonna be like a lot of like carnivals, and around this time, some of them even have like horror attractions. So we're all
Okay.
gonna try to go to that carnival and have fun. And I'm gonna either bring my camera or a couple small lights in my, my iPhone. As much as I hate saying that shit, but some places don't like cameras. And we're just gonna take photos there. And I actually, it's over. Was over. I got the Crow plushie from Crow.
Oh, nice.
Got a little
Okay,
fucking hat
I'll look.
and everything. So I'm hoping to do that. But yeah, like it's the same thing, dude. Like if I was there, like I said, with everything going better in life now, I can make more trips to do stuff now. So
Love to see you. Love to have you.
Yeah, well, I mean,
down here in the Sunshine State
I mean,
for just a little while. Don't stay forever, trust me. But
God, I
for a
haven't
little while.
I've been to Florida in like 12 years, I think, because I went to MetroCon with my friends.
Okay, yeah.
Anything that was that's like when all of us like first met in person for the first time, and everything. And then one of the girls I was with, that was the one that ended up becoming my girlfriend for a while, and it was hilarious because she left that trip with an ear infection because I suplexed her in a pool. I just came up behind her and just like hugged her and just went like in the pool.
Yeah, and then water straight in, probably got stuck, and now you get an ear
He
infection.
never let me forget that for the longest time, but her mother was like, "He's the sweetest boy. Don't be mean to him."
I mean, she could have just gotten some of the drops that clear, and gotten it out.
She had to
I'm
go to
just
urgent
gonna-
care for it.
Yeah, bless her heart.
I'm a monster. But all right, guys. But that'll be all for today. Tune in next time for the next episode, which I actually have so many planned. I don't remember which one's coming up next. So either way, stay tuned, guys. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see y'all next time. Take care. Have a good one.
Bye.
Hey guys, thanks for watching. Remember to give a thumbs up to this video as it helps out big time, and don't forget to subscribe if you like videos like this one and video game reviews as well. Also, I stream almost daily, so if streaming games are your thing, definitely subscribe and join in on the fun, and consider becoming a member to help the channel grow, and you'll get your name in the credits here of my videos and other perks depending on the tier levels that you choose. That's it for today. Many thanks, guys, and until the next time, stay safe and have a good one.